All right, welcome, man. So let's go get this started. We're not gonna waste no time. Let's go ahead and hit these banners up. Let's go and get the party started because I won't be up all night. Uh, my name is Brandon B. Dixon, NMLS 1541210 at being alone on all social media, including the YouTube. Like, subscribe. We got had a nice little live session. I think 88 people watched it live. Like, I don't know if they watched the whole time, on and off. We had a nice little session last time. It was decent looking. All right, so okay, comments live. I got Twitch live, I got LinkedIn live, and I got YouTube live right now. So go to www.applywithb.com. You call me 832-775-8357. Call me 24/7. www.brandonbdixon.com if you want to lease a list. I do have an open house this weekend. I'll get the address before it's all said and done. But we met this open house. I think it's listed at 386, man. It's gonna be in Fresno. So join me out there this weekend. www.cocinvestmentclub.com if you want to get into mitigate your risks. And Corey, I got you all queued up.
Man, look, my commercial is short and sweet. You know what I'm saying? Corey Smith, broker owner, Commodore Mortgage, here for all your mortgage needs.
Gotcha. All right, with that being said, let's go ahead and keep on and popping. We're talking real estate and beyond, man. Not just real estate, whatever's hot, viral, comment, social, everything, business, relationships. We're talking about this reacting was hot from a onk standpoint. I guess we onks now.
We made it to that status. Onk and OG.
Yeah, so from an onk standpoint, man, on the business tip. Let me just go ahead and start it off. I like to start off on some business. Let's talk some business. Let's talk a little bit of sports business and freestyle. I ain't got no really rhyme because I got a whole bunch. You know.
And it's very interesting. Caleb Williams came in as a first-round pick for the Chicago Bears. He wanted to get paid in the LLC, but they refused. What was that reason in your thinking? And why do you think that Caleb wanted to have his money being paid or his salary being paid to an LLC?
Caleb wanted to get paid through his LLC because he wanted to reduce his taxes, and he approached it from the sense of, if I'm an entertainer, that means I'm a 1099 contractor by entertainer definition. So I should be able to dictate how I spend my money before I pay Uncle Sam, because when you're a business owner, you get paid first, you spend money second, and then Uncle Sam gets paid third. But when you're W-2, you make money, Uncle Sam gets paid, and then you spend what's left over. He was trying to flip the table and say, you know what? I don't want the taxes to just be taken out of every single paycheck. If we route it over to an LLC, I'm self-employed. Now I can use expenses to try to mitigate my tax bill. I thought it was absolutely genius, but because the way in which his contract is written, he is the employee, so that's how he's going to have to get paid.
I think that breeze. I don't know if you're outside of what I think that blowing coming from your end.
Probably so. You know what I'm saying? I got a breeze, a nice little breeze out here. You know what I'm saying? So if you is hearing the breeze, you know what I'm saying, it's probably from my side. Is that interfering with my audio? Can you still hear me?
A little bit. Like it sounds like it's breezy.
I'm in a wind tunnel or something.
Yeah.
I got you. Hold on.
All right, so I go ahead. Shout out to Dominic Sue, man. I actually subscribe to his podcast. I like talking, intellectual talk without all the fluff, So he's straight talking business ideas and different angles and stuff like that. So I actually like that. As for what you talking about in this particular clip. Yeah, man, I wish a lot of people were more attuned to that, like as far as doing stuff in the LLC where you could mitigate your tax risk and tax liability. A lot of people haven't even heard about single member LLCs and have tax strategies, stuff like that. I talk to a lot of people on a daily basis, thinking like a worker, thinking like an employee. And this thing is set up for business owners. I'm not sure. I'm not. You might can speak on it more. I'm not sure why they wouldn't let him do as he as he wants. It's all negotiable. So I'm not sure why he would have to get paid like an employee if he's an entertainer, and it's all contract. Why wouldn't it be contract work? Why is it W-2? If you only got a 3-year contract, why you get paid like a W-2 employee? I don't get it. So I'm not familiar enough with those athletic contracts to understand why they would block that. And then the last point is, I'm glad to see a lot of these younger cats, getting, pushing the boundaries and trying to, even the playing field a little bit, trying to, get as savvy as everybody. We've been behind for so long, as far as business because not knowing. But I'll go ahead and open it up to you on that. You might speak on a little bit more. I'm not sure why they're blocking it.
Yeah. So it's all assumption, at the end of the day, because it's the NFL at the end of the day, You're talking about a multi-billion-dollar conglomerate that actually makes their money highly leveraged on the fact that they have control over the players. So once you remove that control over the players, now you start to see things unravel a little bit, and things start to get a little bit haywire. To me, I still think it's a lot of the old mentality where they still want to have control over the players, still have control over a lot of things that they do, and still have a lot of say so. Once you become independent, they lose a lot of that control, which is definitely what they don't want to lose. The NFL has not, to my knowledge, came out and made an official statement about why they said no. They just said no. But at the end of the day, we can all understand why they said no, because if they allow Caleb Williams to do it, now you have to allow everybody else to do it. So it opens up the floodgate. And when you're talking about that term from employee to independent contractor, that helps the player out from a tax standpoint. They're automatically giving themselves a raise once they come from employee to independent contractor. But that does not actually help the actual NFL, and it doesn't help the owners. Because then at that point, if you're an individual, then, things become a little bit gray area. So I say that to say this is that guaranteed the NFL as well as the Chicago Bears had these high-priced lawyers that put together, this whole presentation and this whole thing about what your liabilities are if you allow for this to happen. And that's why they said no. Because at the end of the day, I believe, it's all about the money. In order to assure that the money keeps flowing in, I got to have control over the players. So no, we're not going to allow that. Maybe it'll come in the future, but no, it's not now.
I mean, what type of control are you talking about? All he's talking about is tax, how you forming the taxes. He's still an independent contractor. You still can get cut. You still have the burden of performance.
That's true.
What difference does it make if it's 1099 or W-2? Why do it have to be labeled as an employee of the actual team?
Well, by law, there are certain types of control that they have over you when you're an employee versus an independent contractor. It's not just about tax laws. When he specifically said in there, he didn't use the term control. He was just saying there's certain things that you can do as an employee that you can't necessarily do as an independent contractor. That is the thing from an employer standpoint that makes a difference. They don't care how you do your taxes or how much you saving on your taxes. They probably going to applaud that because they're doing it themselves. But when it comes to the end of the day, when I'm allowing that money and I have sponsors and everybody else, I need to be able to control you.
Right. I still don't get it, but it is what
and
it
then
is.
Here's the thing, we're talking about the bottom line being control, right? We are not, and word has not come out from the meetings that have happened in the closed doors, behind closed doors, right? So nobody can say specifically, okay, well, look, this is why they didn't allow it because of ABC. Nobody can really say that. Everybody can pretty much just assume. But I can tell you just from the simple statement of them not allowing him, and the way the contract reads, in order for him to be an actual employee, what it boils down to is control at the end of the day. But I mean, of course, they're going to twist it a different way.
All right, let's keep it on like the sports theme. Let's hit this next one real quick.
Those years when Michael Jordan was playing baseball and he struggled, it just wasn't the sport that he was wired for. And you see that in high contrast to when he is aligned with the sport that he was actually wired for, basketball. Our careers are a lot like that. You put someone in the wrong career, it's soul sucking, energy draining. You put them in the right career, the career that they're actually wired for, they can become the best in the world at it. That is possible with 300 billion data points, 10-minute quiz that gives you all major personality test results back.
I know he went to the
Job recommendations for all of the top jobs you're a perfect fit for, and the links for all the open roles of the companies that are hiring for those jobs for you to easily apply for. Improve your resume, prepare for the interview, see what it's like. Tryapt.ai. You know those years when Michael...
I like the beginning part. He went to that commercial awfully quick.
Yeah, he did.
Right.
Yeah.
But I don't know, man. Like I said, I reason why I put this in here because I'm kind of on the fence on this one. I think, and this is a conversation I had with one of my brothers, either last night or the night before last. It's all running together, but we were trying to not just talk about sports. That's on the base level. We were talking more on the spiritual level as far as the patterns, and we talking about the personalities that you're supposed to like with the zodiac and stuff like that. You're supposed to be these things based on your birthday, and when you enter into the this particular density, you're supposed to act like this. And I always thought that was cap because you always could transcend all of that stuff. I think the whole purpose of this is to transcend the norm and become like what you want to become, be able to be, create what you want to create and break out of that. So I think if you put your mind to it, you can make anything your sport. I get it. There's some physical limitations. Like if I'm 5'0", I can't, it's gonna be hard for me to make it to the NBA, but not impossible. I've seen a 5'3" dude make it to the NBA. Mm-hmm. But it's gonna be a lot harder. But it is a possibility with with a lot of training, a lot of will, a lot of hard work, so on and so forth. But I don't think that there's all right. If it's for you, it's for you. I get that he was great at it, but I think what happened with Jordan, I think it was this. I don't know. I think it was something different. Something else was going on, and he wanted to try baseball. I don't know where baseball came from, but he hadn't put as much time into baseball as he did into basketball, and that's why the skills didn't translate. Just because you're an athlete don't mean you're athletic enough to be great in multiple sports. You know what I mean? So that's what I think. I think the analogy kind of off there. I mean, I get it. Like if you're introverted, it's gonna be hard to be good at sales. But however, I was an introvert at one point. Mm-hmm. So I think if you work at something hard enough and long enough, you can get good at it, at anything. Mm-hmm. I don't think there's such thing as a natural at anything. Mm-hmm. So I'm kind of on the fence about that. So I'll go ahead and open the floor on that.
I think at the end of the day, it's one way to look at it to be like, you need to be in your proper career, which is why he used the analogy of Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan did well in basketball. He didn't do well in baseball. But I think also you can't be afraid to fail. Because how do you know what that proper career is? And unless you give it a try, unless you take that challenge on, which is what Michael Jordan chose to do. So I wouldn't necessarily look down at Michael Jordan or say, that wasn't the proper career for him, because we don't know. Maybe if he started at a younger age, maybe the result of baseball would have been a lot different than what it was for him at that time. So my kind of twist to the analogy and the plot that the picture that he was trying to paint is that, yes, there are some things that you're going to be better at. There are some careers that you're better at than others, But how do you know if you're not better at another career unless you give it a shot? They always used to say, you know what I'm saying, you're missing 100% of the shots that you don't take. So Michael Jordan had to take that shot because nobody knows. He could have turned around to be the go to baseball. We'll never know, right? If he didn't try. But the fact that he actually went and tried, didn't do as good. He definitely did better as time progressed. He definitely did better. Not to say that it was the same success as basketball, but nevertheless, you know what I'm saying, you got to commend the man for at least taking on the challenge and not listening to the naysayers and giving up, and not listening to the naysayers and letting that bother him and perform and so on and so forth. So at the end of the day, you know what I'm saying, if there's a challenge out there, you never know if you're going to be good at it unless you give it a shot.
Gotcha. I mean, you kind of echoing my point. Like I said, I don't think you're boxed into certain things that you're going to be. This is for you. You can make anything that's for you if you put enough time and energy into it. You can make anything for you. That's my point on that.
Correct.
Sticking on sports. Let me empty the clip. I don't know if it's empty in the clip, but these are all bunched together. So let me go ahead and rock it. I don't know. I felt this way, but let me be real.
So right here, if you guys see, I'm driving near a stadium. That stadium probably holds about 20,000 people every weekend. There's 20,000 people being fans of a couple men on the field throwing a ball around. A couple people throwing a ball around. How can you be a grown man still obsessed with sports? A grown person still obsessed with sports. You're a grown dude with another man wearing another man's jersey talking about go. Your whole family, you know what I'm saying, needs money. You need money. Bro, at least try to get some money. Y'all boys is over here watching sports and cheering for other men. I could never do that, bro. Even when I was broke, I was thinking like, dude, I can't go and cheer for another man when I don't have things going on right in my life. Bro, if you wanted to be a cheerleader, all you had to do was just sign up. So right here, if you guys see,
I feel them to a certain extent. I feel them because I said that's why I don't go to concerts. That's why I don't. I can't. All right, I'm gonna go crazy. Listen. All right. I just never felt that. I never really go to. All right, I'm gonna travel around the world. Look at this building somebody else built. I just never did. It just never did tickle my fancy. Now, sports is entertainment. I get it. I'm a Saints fan. But I'm not going out my way. I'm not going broke. To go to the game and shit. I do. It's I don't know. It's in me already to root for the Saints. You know what I mean? So I don't know. I'm kind of torn on that one, but I feel him because I feel it. I feel the purpose of what he's saying. Especially that's that they ain't got no money. You ain't got time to watch the game. That 6 hours you watching a game, you better go out and get it and go. You ain't got time to do it. Some people live vicariously through sports. Like, all right, everything freezes during sport. I can't do this because the game gonna be on, bro. You broke. You better, DVR that thing and go get you some money and stop postponing stuff. Some people live around the team. Like, it's a pure distraction. Like, so some people watch, some fantasy football, be betting and the whole nine. Like, man, it's they whole life skip church and everything. Their whole life revolve around these sports. I get it. It could be addictive, but we all watching a bunch of millionaires make their bread.
Mm-hmm.
Grown men, and we, he got a point. So I can't knock with his point. I do feel it. At the same time, I do like to see my Saints play, even though they trash right now.
Our Texas K talk too much trash because we in the same bucket.
But that's my 2 cents on that. I feel him.
So you know what I'm saying, when it comes to the point that he's trying to make, you know what I'm saying, I just feel like different strokes, different folks. Everybody had their opinion. But obviously, you know what I'm saying, he never really played sports. Because if he did play sports, he would better understand the reason why. So you know what I'm saying? It's not just about rooting another man on. It's about all the other things that come along with it. The fellas camaraderie. You know what I'm saying? You got a bunch of fellas together, everybody got a different team. It's the shit talking between the men, you know what I'm saying, that's actually make it interesting and entertaining, not just rooting on other men. It's the sentimental value of it. You know, I remember being 5 or 6 years old, going to the game with my dad. My dad had season tickets. I remember being 5 or 6 going with my mom. I remember growing up, you know what I'm saying, my family was always Saints fans or Texans or Bills fans, whatever the case may be. So, you know what I'm saying, it's just like a parent passing away, you know what I'm saying, it's hard to get rid of the house. It's the sentimental value of it. That necessarily is ingrained in people's head. It's not, again, it's not necessarily just rooting on another man. It's the betting aspect when you add that into it. Most people go down to whatever your nearest casino is, you know what I'm saying, and they put gambling, they bet on this, they bet on that, or whatever the case may be. There's a lot of people that like to bet on sports. So in order to bet on sports and find out where I can easily make my money, I have to watch and understand what's going on. I'm not necessarily rooting on another man. I'm rooting on a team, or I'm rooting on somebody to do something so that I can win money at the end of the day. So when you talk about being broke, if you're betting, you can win money. So when you look at it from that perspective, okay, well, that's one way to look at it. But what about all these other things that's going on for why people are showing up to those stadiums on a weekend to weekend basis to root on another team? And that part, I think he doesn't necessarily understand. And because he's probably not in a circle of people that actually watch sports and able to explain that to him, obviously he has the opinion that he has. He's a millionaire. He's doing something right. But at the end of the day, you know what I'm saying, you know, people have their own perspective and people have their own reasons why they're cheering for another team, another sport, another man, whatever the case may be. So we have to have understanding of that.
Right. Let me go into this next one because I'm just scrolling through. I do have I'll have a bunch more from the time, but these let's stick it on the sports, man. And then we're gonna start pivoting. If this was sports, I put this in here as partially comedy, but you know, this coming now.
Oh, stop it.
Let me put some context.
Hobby horse championships. Boy, I can't get over that shit.
So this is what it's all coming to, where everybody's supposed to have talent. Everybody got to have something that they're good at. You know, everybody. You know, they got something for everybody. Is that where it's going to?
That's what it looks like.
I mean,
man, these sports and competitions are getting weirder and weirder by the year.
You know, come on now. You know, so can it be like you're just not good at nothing? Like, you know, why they gotta invent stuff? You know what I mean? You know, so let me go ahead. Let's see.
Hold on, before you move on to that, why you load up that next video, you know what I'm saying? Let me just say this. I think the previous couple of videos where we was talking about you got to be in the right career, I think she's in the wrong career. Because right. I can tell you right now, a lot of them damn hurdles was high as hell. So right. You know what I'm saying? Why don't you go out there in the track and field and run them hurdles?
Right.
You missing out on the opportunity.
You don't hit. There are hurdles that you can hit in track and field. Why
are you out there doing that?
Right, you can get a real horse and get on that horse and train on that real horse.
Man, look, the way she was hopping up things, she need to get out there and run that 400-meter hurdles or 200-meter hurdle.
What are we doing? You know, All right, one more sports one. I'm gonna just start pivot, man. Let me,
Uh-huh.
because I have a lot of sports ones. Let's hit this.
Let's go, man. I'm doing this. Let's go, man. Come on. Man, let's go, man. Play on me, bro. Let's go, baby. Let's go, bro. Let's go, man. Stop playing, man. I do this, man. Let's go, man. Let's go, man.
Girls that are wham in a circle, even if you look, make it jump like a hurdle. Girls that are wham in a circle, even if you look, make it jump like a hurdle. Girls that are wham in a circle, even if you look, make it jump like a hurdle. Even that one small, still 30.
Take me through that, take me through that.
She going.
Take me through that, take me through that. Take me through that, take me through that. Take me through that, take me through that.
We going.
Take me through that, take me through that.
Let's go, man. Stop playing. Let's go.
Man, they got another one I was trying to clip, man. When you see these youngsters, they doing this like humping after they score a touchdown, they like humping on the ground.
Oh yeah. Like the Little League football video.
Yeah, like come on, man.
Hey, look, but I tell you, it's entertaining. And first off, that's the first thing. The second thing is that song is real catchy. You know what I'm saying? Like you, I understand the dance and everything and how cats feel it, but that song is catchy. And especially after you watch so many videos where that thing that went viral with them cats doing the same thing. Lord, they got the celebrities doing it.
Oh shit! I should have put this one back before the other one, man. Like, look, come on, man. This should have came right after the horse one. My bad. I forgot I had this one. Come on, man. What we doing, man? What are we doing? This one should have been right after the horse. Knock it off, man. Knock it off. Knock it off. Stop it. Stop it, man.
Hold on, dog. Let that play one more time. Let that play one more time. Hold on. Let me see. Let me see. Let me see this, man. Look. Look. I wasn't prepared the first time. Let me see this thing.
Stop it, man. Stop it off. Knock it off, bro. Come on, man. Come on, man. Come on, man.
Look.
Man, come on, man. We gotta stop this.
Hey, man. Look, I thought at first I missed it because you know what I'm saying her belly was in the way. You know what I'm saying? But you know, it literally looked like the ball went nowhere. Right. And then it was over. Yeah, you know, look.
Come on now. Everybody can't participate in sports, man. Some people just not, you know what I'm saying? Come on, man. We gotta stop this. You know what I'm saying? I guess that is technically lifting the weights. I guess it is technically lifting the weight.
I just I don't even know what to say on that one. I don't even know what to say on that one. Oh God. Okay.
You know, come on, man. What we doing? I got hold on. Actually, I don't know why I put this one in there, but shit, this one is in here. I don't know why, but let me go ahead and run it. I don't know the outcome of this.
Empurra pra ver. Cabe não. Ô meu filho, vai cagar em casa. Isso. O perfeito paga pra limpar, não pra cagar. Segura assim. Aí,
Stop it. Stop it.
Mestre Ligeirinho, a primeira vez aqui na cidade.
No way.
Depois eu por onde? Já.
No way.
I was with the trick till you try to lay it on Pops, nigga. What we Pops got you just destroyed your whole trick.
Cabe eu, gente. Empurra pra ver.
Cabe não. I don't know how he did that, man.
Boy got the Dame Dad say pause on the comments. Hey, look, sometimes the humor don't just be in the videos, you know what I'm saying? You got to look at them comments. The internet is undefeated. That's for certain.
Right.
Lord have mercy. It ain't no way.
Hey, I still don't know how he did that, man.
I don't even know how you find these videos, B.
Man,
what kind of shit you be looking at?
Man, this is all this for a little sports thread. You know what I mean? You know, so
that's tough.
Let's start going pivoting, man. But I want to get your opinion on this one right here. Shit, what you think of it? You know, what would Corey do in this situation? You know, do it at the park. At the parks, you see the black family get together. You just start fixing my plate.
I'm with Cousin Pete, man. I'm with Cousin Pete. Where Cousin Pete at? You know what I'm saying? Look, all you get. Hey, look, he shot his shot. You know what I'm saying? Look, he shot his shot. So all he can do is, you know what I'm saying? Hey, look, just hand over the to-go plate. Y'all got me.
Right.
And walk off. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is.
Right.
It's unnecessary. You know what I'm saying? I couldn't see myself doing that, but you know what I'm saying? Hey, look, if you got caught, then it is what it is.
Sometimes that food be smelling good, man. Like goddamn.
It do. Especially when you out there in the park and they got that gust of wind coming.
Right.
And you already know them black people done hooked it up too. So right. Let me go ahead and fix me a plate.
What he should have done is just ask him if he could buy a plate if he was that hungry.
Man, hell no. You think he wanted to spend some money over there in that park? He finna try to play it out. Hey, look, first off, he had a decision to make. Do I offer to pay for a plate, or do I just kind of try to blend in and get me a free plate? What you think he gonna pick?
Right. They probably would. They might not have been paying attention though. You know what I'm saying?
Apparently she was, because she caught it there. She caught it there.
You want to continue? All right, so I got a couple. You want to continue with funny, or you want to start pivoting some serious stuff, man?
Man, look, you can alternate them.
Right,
funny, serious, funny, serious.
You know, I don't know what. I don't forgot what the moral was. I thought these had more, but I thought this was funny though. I guess I put it in there, but I don't know if this is. I hope this got a moral to it. I don't know. I'm just going to run it. I don't know why I put this in there. I forgot what the moral was.
To fuck up and clean up.
I ain't got to do a damn
here.
thing. I'm watching the damn game. Hey, little nigga, help your mom clean up this house. This nigga just ignoring me, huh? You ain't hear what I said? What you gonna do if I put a motherfucking burger on you? I bet you get up to eat.
Don't do that.
What? Why you fucking booger on me? Your ass to get up. Oh, shut your ass up. Shut up, I'll flip one on you too, bitch. I got a book for you too, bitch. Say something else.
She thinks just because she move blowing her mouth around, she be cleaning up. This bitch half, she don't even wipe the wall. They be stolen.
No, why you in here motherfucking
be grease and shit all over.
I do everything around this bitch. I
grease on the
wall.
wall.
You gonna sit on that fucking couch?
you got my dinner. Where my dinner at? That don't mean shit, bitch. This is what I wanted. That don't mean, this shit good. That shit don't baby. This is what I was waiting on, bitch. See the smashed mashed potatoes, mac and cheese in my face.
I bet.
Oh, bitch. It's good too. Cut this shit off. About time you made something good, bitch.
My son called and said you've been in this house disrespecting me.
I don't disrespect your son. I treat your son like he my son, man.
He in there?
He in there.
Hey, Trey.
Your son like he my son.
Trey, where you at? Get your
Watch out. Why you lying on him?
Man, tell
Why
me.
you lying on him?
What you calling him?
You lie. He put a big ass booger on me.
You ain't letting nobody put no booger on you.
Take you one.
I did. I'm
Let's
good.
talk.
I'm here to talk about him, man.
Frank, why you lying on me?
Man, you lying on
You
this
do this
man.
every day. Come on, dog.
You need to get the fuck up and clean up.
I ain't got to do. I know. I just thought it was funny. I guess I don't know. I don't know if there's a moral to it or not.
Hey, wasn't no more to that shit. that's what goddamn absurd. But you know what I'm saying, when he got up and talked, first off, when his son ignored him, that was the first thing. And then he got up and flicked the booger on him, you know what I'm saying? I said automatically that's the stepdaddy. It ain't no way that's the daddy right there.
Right. I mean,
you know what I'm saying? It was a skit, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it was definitely a skit. It was funny though. You know what I'm saying? It was definitely funny. I don't know if this is the next one on a skit or not. But this one do have a moral. I remember this. This one do have a moral. So this one's actually kind of controversial. Let's
changed by my husband simply because I'm not a gym girl and I don't go to the gym often. I've gained weight.
You have. What's the problem? You can't. I'm not sure why you can't understand that you gain weight, and I'm not really attracted to you like that no more.
What do you mean? How though? I just had your baby, so what do you mean you're not attracted to me no more because I gained weight?
You had the baby 2 years ago.
Okay, and everybody just don't snatch back. So what? I didn't snatch back.
You didn't need 2 years to snatch back if you would have got your ass in the gym. It's just that simple.
So that's what it is. You don't want me no more because
I didn't say I didn't want you no more. You got the opportunity to get.
If you're not attracted to me, you don't want me. You don't want me no more because I've gained weight after bearing your child.
Girl math. I'm not. That's not what I said. What I said is, yeah, when we get to doing it, I'm not really feeling you like I was when we first came in this relationship. Hell, you look way better. I'm just being honest with you. So it's not. You should understand what I'm saying. If I gained weight and you was in the gym, wouldn't you feel the same way?
No, because I love you. At the end of the day, if I love you, then it doesn't matter how you look. What do you mean? I gained 25 pounds?
So since I love you, I should just be okay with you just gaining 25, 30 pounds and not doing nothing, just sitting around the house.
Yeah, sitting around the house, making sure your kid is good, feeding your kid. Like, what do you want me to do?
So you can't feed the kids and go to the gym?
You already know I be having too much stuff going on, so why do I have to do all of that? You go to the gym. Like, that's what you like to do. That's not what I like to do.
But you don't
At this
work.
point, you don't like how I look because I gained weight.
Yeah, that's true. You keep saying it like it's just going to make me feel some type of way.
And you should.
Like, no, that's how I feel. So that's how I'm going to keep feeling. You don't pay no bills, so why is it that you got so much going on with the kids that you can't go to the gym?
I have a question. So I have never been a gym girly. So why all of a sudden I have to quote be some type of gym girly for you?
Because you picked up weight. So you ain't got to be a gym girly, but you could go to the gym, at least try to do something to protect your health. Do something. Do you want to be around for your kids?
What do you mean protect my health? Like, I'm not that bigger. What do you mean? You act like I'm on 600-pound life or something.
You out of shape. It's just that simple. You walk up the stairs and you breathing hard and shit.
You do too.
What? You lying?
You do too.
Stop lying, yo. Stop lying. I don't breathe hard. You breathing hard, just laying around doing nothing. You can go to the gym. You can go to the gym. It's not. I don't know why you acting like it's such a big deal for you to go to the gym. You don't got nothing else to do. Take care of kids. You feed kids.
Right, and that's taking care of kids is a lot of responsibility. What do you mean? It's draining.
I come back to the house and help with the kids.
Barely. You spend 2 hours at the gym and barely even getting any type of muscle at that.
Now you trying to. Now who's body shaming for real? Now
it doesn't now because you're talking about me. Body shamed by my husband.
So I don't know. I gotta stay out of that because I ain't, is he right or wrong?
He right.
So she wrong?
He right. It ain't for me to judge, you know what I'm saying? But one thing I can tell you is, you know what I'm saying, all the time, if that man choose to leave or that man choose to step out, the one thing she gonna say is, you could have just kept it 100 with me. You could have just told me. Now the man is telling you he being 100% truthful and honest and upfront about his actual feelings and his opinions towards what's going on. And then now, you know what I'm saying, if he leaves, you no longer can use the excuse, well, why didn't you just say something? I could have went to the gym if you would have said something. Or, you know what I'm saying, I could have resolved it if you would have said what the problem was, or whatever excuse there is. It's almost as if, you know what I'm saying, you're in a lose-lose situation. You're in a lose-lose, you know what I'm saying, if you don't say nothing and just go along and eventually get sick of it and move on. And then you lose again, you know what I'm saying, if you're trying to 100% be honest about your opinions and say what's going on, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm giving you the opportunity. He didn't say I'm leaving tomorrow or I'm leaving, you know what I'm saying? All I'm asking you to do is, I'm just telling you, like, shit is getting out of control. I need you to tighten up. It shouldn't be a problem with that. It should either be like, hey, look, 25 pounds heavier, whatever the case may be. And by the way, I just had your kids 2 years ago. Is crazy to me.
Right.
That's that girl math, as he said. That's that girl math. That's crazy. But long story short, you know what I'm saying? Do I think that he's in the wrong? Hell no, I don't think he's in the wrong. You know what I'm saying? And then do I think she's in the wrong? Only time will tell. Because if he leaves and then now she wants to try to get in shape, she wants to try to, and I guarantee you, know what I'm saying, if something happened and he leaves, she gonna be the slimmest thing walking in the street because she gonna try to show it. That's that revenge body shit that they have going on. You know what I'm saying? Like, why not go ahead if you got the man telling you what the issue is now? He's not trying to say he's leaving. He's just being upfront with you, telling you to tighten up. Why can't you tighten up? I don't understand what the whole argument, the videotaping and all this stuff is. All it is a regular conversation. Either you're going to tighten up or you not. And if he leaves because you chose not to tighten up, then there's no complaint to be had. But unfortunately, you know what I'm saying, reasonable shit just doesn't make sense.
Right. I mean, the thing is that is there really respect there? Because if you really respect what he said and his opinion, why wouldn't you get tight? Like, that should be the most valuable opinion on earth. If that's the person you decide to spend the rest of your life with, why are you dismissing his opinion like that?
Correct. Especially what he's doing, what he's supposed to be doing.
Right. So if he pay all the bills, like you just said, you know, you do is take care of kids, man. You need to. They had that back in the day. At one point, like like even Kevin Samuels used to say they used to have that grapefruit for dinner. When they used to pick up that weight, they had that grapefruit for dinner. So that's gone. They're gonna be having that Wingstop right along. Give me a 6 piece of that. Like you don't need, you know what I'm saying? You need to watch some calories. They don't want to hear that no more. Back then they used to have your dinner laid out and they had the celery sticks for their dinner. You know what I'm saying? That's gone now, man. So they want.
Man, I don't even understand. You know what I'm saying? I don't understand the simple fact of, and they didn't go into detail about the whole situation, but I guess if they made the agreement where he works and then he goes into work or whatever, you know what I'm saying, and then she stays home with the kids, right. I never could understand, you know what I'm saying, when the kids go to school, then what the hell are you doing throughout the day? Like, if that is an important thing to your man for you to be in shape or for you to be a certain size or whatever the case may be, guaranteed from the way he's talking, that was a conversation that was already had previous to, right? So, you know what I'm saying? Now that you want to blame this baby 2 years after the fact, it's crazy to me. So, you know what I'm saying? If the kids go to school or whatever the case may be, or you do have some downtime, you mean to tell me I'm doing everything that I can as a man to make sure you provided you good, but now you're going to dismiss my feelings? Right. Dismiss what I have going on just because, you know what I'm saying, you just want to be lazy?
It's for you too, you know?
Man, I just don't that part I just don't understand. Now, here's the thing though, B. If you got a woman, you know what I'm saying, that has gained 25 pounds, she never goes to the gym, but you ain't going to the gym, and it ain't important for her to be in shape because you don't want to go to the gym either, by all means, you know what I'm saying, that's fine. It's not a big deal, right? Because it's not a big deal to the man, it's not a big deal to her. Y'all can go eat double cheeseburgers for the rest of y'all life, but y'all on the same page.
Right.
The problem I had with this is, you know what I'm saying, y'all ain't on the same page, and then, you know what I'm saying, you choosing not to take heed to the warnings that are being provided to you. And then if it falters, you know what I'm saying, you want to blame the man.
That's what Chris Rock said. Two crackheads stay together. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So you got to be kind of on the same page on what they're trying to do. You know, but the dismiss his. This is one request. Don't forget, you should know your man as well. You know, men are visual, so you know.
100%. And look, and to add another layer to that, a lot of gyms now have in gym daycare.
Right.
That you can drop your kids off with and go get it in.
It ain't gonna take it that long. You can drop no 25 pounds. You can drop 25 pounds in like 2-3 months.
All you gotta do is push away from the table and actually go do something.
Yeah, just go do something.
Besides sitting on the couch eating bonbons. They used to say watching Oprah, but you know what I'm saying, Oprah ain't on no more. So just watching Love and Hip Hop or something. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. Shit, you know what I'm saying? But you just got to do something. Hell, even if you know what I'm saying, you put the baby in the stroller and walk around the goddamn neighborhood, you can do that.
You can walk around the neighborhood with they need the exercise too.
Man, look.
And you teaching them bad habits. Let's go. Let's go to the
lose for the brother.
All right.
Or find somebody that's willing to tolerate the fact that you're never home for the first 10 years. They're going to raise a family by themselves because there's no balance in life. That idea of balance is complete bullshit. I mean, it's just bullshit. You have to work so hard to compete globally these days in every sector. You're going to work your ass off. If you're going to be awake 18 hours and you've determined that there's 3 things you have to get done, you're going to get those done. No matter what it takes, you're going to get those done. And you're not going to let anything distract you from the 3 to 5 things. If you're a CEO and you achieve that and you can get those done with 80% of your time based on that, you're extraordinarily successful. You are absolutely, and you're Steve Jobs or you're an Elon Musk. You made one of your things today, this interview. You're going to get it done. You're going to, all these people around and everything else. This is one of the 3 to 5 things you're going to get done. I have 5 things today. I'm going to get them done. And I'm not going to let anything get in the way. It's done. That's it. I'll do the same thing tomorrow. You better find somebody that's willing to tolerate the fact that you're never home for the first 10 years.
I'll go ahead and over first. I mean, it's kind of controversial. I already kind of know, like I said, your take on this, but I do believe in being all in, especially if this is your business or this is your dream, this is your passion. And everything else is secondary because what happens is nobody gonna give you anything. You got to compete. Sometimes you got to put everything that you have into it, and you don't have the luxury to be distracted or split your energy. So, and somebody, if you are with somebody, they're gonna have to either understand that and be with you, or find somebody else. You know, so it can't be like. That video was past video was a good, you know, prelim. They have to be on the same accord, you know. So if I got this vision, and I'm all in on this business, and I got everything on the line. You got to understand that this gonna take us to the next level, and I can't be date night. And you know what I mean? I can't spend 2 hours watching your show because you know you need to spend time with me. I got to be on the road at this conference. You're gonna have to understand that. You know, your feelings can't be in the way like when I'm trying to build this, and they got to be an understanding from the get-go. You know, you got to be supportive or don't do it. You know what I mean? Because I can't. It's hard enough to fight. The fight out there, and I got to fight it on the home front too. It's too much.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So I'm feeling what he's saying on that. Also, and I'm going to hand it over to you. I'm really trying to prioritize I gotta put gym in there too. You know, I gotta put doing something physical every day. I gotta put that in my 3 to 5 to do things by any means.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And it's just the accomplishment. If you can get by any means 3 to 5 things every day accomplished, you're a dog. You know, so I go ahead and yield the floor on that.
The biggest thing is everybody wants to have the CEO wife's life, but not everybody's built to be a CEO wife. And what I mean by that is, you know what I'm saying, everybody wants the lifestyle. Everybody want to ride around the Bentley, the Rolls Royces. They want to have the purses, the Louis Vuitton purses, the whatever, you know what I'm saying? They want to have the lifestyle, but they're not willing to accept what comes along with it. Because, you know what I'm saying, it ain't all roses and dollars and all that other stuff. You know what I'm saying? It ain't all it's cracked up to be, especially in the beginning. It's definitely not all it's cracked up to be. But you have to have that conversation early, just like he had. You know what I'm saying? Where he said you have to find you somebody that understands. First 10 years, I'm out here getting money. The only way you're going to be able to live the life that you live is by me going out there and providing for my actual family. Now, understand it's different strokes, different folks. Not everybody's built for that. Some people like the work-life balance. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. But there's some people that want to become extraordinary, like he talks about the Steve Jobs, Elon Musk, and all this other stuff, where they want to eat, shit, and sleep, work every single day, all day. As long as your wife is on board and supportive with that, you know what I'm saying? To me, there's nothing wrong with that. But you have to find you the right one that can accept what's going on and the life that you have to live. Because if you don't, your life is going to be miserable. You're trying to build a company, and every time you come home, you have an argument. There's some kind of disagreement that she's pissed off about this, that, the third. Of course, you know what I'm saying, you're trying to work, but in the back of your mind, you're like, damn, I got to take this surprise trip from California to New York here in the next couple of hours, and I got to call and tell my wife. And then there's going to be some more bullshit behind that. You know what I'm saying? It's the mental aspect of it. But when you have somebody that completely understands, they're like, okay, well, cool. You got to go to New York. That's fine. Well, you know what I'm saying? Kids are out of school or whatever, you know what I'm saying? I'll load the kids up. We'll hop on a plane. We'll come beat you in New York, spend some time whenever you got time, whatever the case may be. Like, you know what I'm saying? It has to be. And these days, it's vice versa too. It's not only just women have to be on the same page. Hell, there's women CEOs too. So men have to be on the same page as well too. Knowing if you want to get that nookie, you may have to fly to go get that nookie. You know what I'm saying? Because she's busy doing what CEOs need to do. So long story short, you know what I'm saying? This leads back to the next video. As long as everybody's on the same page and as long as everybody's supportive and understanding their roles, everything will be fine. But when those people decide and it's never given to them, they're never pre-warned, y'all don't have that pre-conversation about what it's actually going to be, what life is going to look like, that's when you run into problems, and that's when divorces and all this other stuff happen.
Right. Let's go ahead and let's go ahead and hit this next one. Hold on, here we go.
Bank $10 million, you're a borrower. When you owe them $100 million, you're their partner, and they're never going to let you fail. They may take their pound of flesh, but they're going to help you maintain where you are. They're going to help you to get out of your own way, and they're going to keep you working because they do not want to own the property. That's the last thing a lender wants.
That's what Trump is doing with his casinos, right?
Trump is either you love him or hate him. I love him. I don't agree with everything he says. But from a business standpoint, he took the casinos through bankruptcy twice. Bankruptcy is a finance tool. That's all it is. People look at it with a negative connotation, but bankruptcy is a technique in financing deals. So when we buy a note on a bad deal, we buy the debt. The debt we put into an SPE, which is a single purpose entity. We then put another smaller asset in it because you need two assets in a single purpose entity to get what's called a cram down, which is to take the debt, cram it down to a smaller amount. Otherwise, the court won't recognize it. They'll look at it as a single asset entity and they'll just discharge it. When you have two in there, then they look at it as a workable entity. And then we go through the process of the building is worth $100 million, but there's 200 million in debt and it can carry 75, the court will help us to shave that down to the 75.
Wow.
And it's through that process that gives you the lift where you bought the note, and that's the biggest upside on the deal. And the deal could be worth 200 million. Currently it's not until the debt's recast.
That is interesting.
Yeah,
Wow.
that's how you make money. And either you do these new construction, all this crap you see, and you pre-sell it, and then you use the deposits to build it, because you can use the deposits here for hard construction costs. Or you go out and you learn how to buy debt. If you owe a bank $10 million, you're a borrower. When
I know there's gonna be over a lot of cash head. A lot of cash head. I'll try to unpack a little bit of it, but I don't want to get too granular. I got a whole bunch of videos. I'll start it off like this. A lot of people have to remanufacture their brain in order to understand business. What we've been taught, how we've been raised. Business is totally opposite of what we've been taught, how we've been raised. And if you become affluent in business and learn how to navigate yourself through business, then you'll see why America is the land of opportunity. Everybody's rushing to get here. Because our laws are based around you being successful. All you have to know is how to play the game. Yet everybody, I'm oppressed, I'm this, I'm that. Nah, we got tremendous opportunity. And everybody can make it. Now, have it always been there? No. Yeah, there have been some systematic things like redline and stuff like that that prevented certain, races and stuff like that from getting opportunity. But how has they abridged that? Yes. So can we continue to use that as an excuse? No. So let's unpack this. Start with what he was saying and talking about how if you borrow 10 million, you're a debtor, and if you borrow 100 million, you're a partner. I don't know if you knew that, but the whole SBA, most of these venture capitalist groups are looking for opportunities to make money. All you have to do is network and put together the deal. They will invest in you. They will invest in, especially if you got the knowledge, because they don't want to run it. They don't want to touch it. I was listening to somebody today, I think Mike Cordes, in fact, we was on our next call. He said something about, I don't want to misquote him, but he said something about if you gotta make sure the business, if you gotta be there all the time, it's a job, it's not a business. You know what I mean? So the rich understand that. I like what Dame Dash. I wish we could say. I don't know if you've seen that Dame Dash interview with the Breakfast Club or not.
Seen parts of it.
He made a lot of good points that probably went over a lot of boys' head. Like, man, you into these four walls. This is a coffin. So the rich don't want to sit there and work jobs. They rather take an entrepreneur and, all right, you do that. You're in the business, and I know you're passionate about it. I know you're gonna run it. I just want equity, and you're gonna perform because this is your chance. And I'm gonna make up, and they have it to where they're gonna get paid first before you see your dime back. You're gonna get paid a nice little salary. You know what I mean? But all the money, all the profit will come to me. Then once I get paid back, then we gonna get rich. That's how this thing is set up. So they got money, man. They got all kind of money out floating out there because people want to make more money. You know what I mean? But we look at it as half full, half empty, and man, they got people looking for deals. We go to our homeboys and stuff. You know what I mean? So yeah, you're 100 million in it, you're a partner. And they're not gonna let you fail. They're gonna set up their CPAs. They're gonna set up somebody watching you. You know what I'm saying? They're gonna make sure they're gonna put you with their tech people. All right, let my tech people do your social media and all that. They're gonna make sure that money is gonna come back to him.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying? So it goes back to the one we were looking at last time with the Jameis Winston clip where he said, "Dream bigger. You're not dreaming big enough. 10 million not big enough.
Mm-hmm.
You know, keep going." And then for the last part, you know, this kind of complex as far as what he's talking about with the finance deals, as far as that's what Dane was talking about too, as far as bankruptcy. He said bankruptcy is like, you know, getting 25 bricks from a car. He broke it down to drug terminology, 25 bricks from the cartel and everybody get killed. So you got to pay them back. So a lot of the rich use that as a financing tool. Like, all right, it's a come up. All right, I got this money and shit. I ain't got to pay this shit back. And I go ahead and bank, and that's under my LLC. I go ahead and bankrupt that LLC. It ain't under me. I'm broke.
Mm-hmm.
But we don't look at it like that's why he was going off on it. Like, man, you dumb. You know, kind of dumb you look. You know, we don't understand business like that. You know, that look bad to if you a worker and you go bankrupt, chapter 13, chapter 7, that's different.
Correct.
But if your business goes bankrupt, who cares? It's form of the LLC.
Mm-hmm.
But we looking at it a stigma to bankrupt. There's a stigmatism to it that we don't understand. It's like the guy said, it's not a financing tool. I'll go yield the floor because I want to do this a long subject. I don't want to stay on that too long.
Yeah. So the bottom line is that, you know what I'm saying, what a lot of people don't understand, there are different rules for different tax brackets that people are in that, you know what I'm saying, that some people will just never understand. When he broke that down, that is a 1% of the world type rule that goes on. You know, when you talk about, you know what I'm saying, doing these commercial properties, you're actually squeezing the debt, doing those type of things, you know what I'm saying? That's not going to be the same as if you got a single family home and you run into trouble. It's not going to be the same type of rules. So 50 Cent was the first one that I realized that actually talked to bankruptcy and about bankruptcy being a benefit to your actual wealth. He went through bankruptcy, and a lot of people were talking about, you know what I'm saying, just a lot of people don't understand when you're not at that level. You're not at that tax bracket. They don't understand. But 50 Cent did a great job of actually coming back to break it down like, okay, well, look, this is how this works. Like you're talking about, you know what I'm saying, putting bankruptcy. It doesn't necessarily mean that you're broke, but you're talking about getting a great discount on the debt that you have. So the money that you actually take it, you know what I'm saying, completely gets written off like it never existed. And I think a lot of people still don't understand that to this day. But I think 50 Cent was actually able to educate the hip hop world on, look, everybody looks at this whole bankruptcy thing the wrong way. This is how you need to look at this. The same way he did child support. He figured out the golden rule as far as child support. And everybody knows what happened with him and his baby moms. But now Dame Dash is doing the same thing. Dame Dash is doing the same thing. He's using bankruptcy as a financial wealth tool. But you know what I'm saying, unless you're in that tax bracket, a lot of people are just, oh man, I knew he was broke. I knew he didn't have no money. But yet he's still shooting these videos on islands and different countries and everywhere else, you know what I'm saying, that he's at, because you already know he has money. But he's using bankruptcy as a financial tool. So it takes a different caliber of person to say, okay, well, look, I understand the rest of the world don't understand what I'm doing. They don't understand financial and wealth preservation the same way I do. So even though I'm taking a whole bunch of backlash, I'm on the Breakfast Club, Charlamagne calling me broke and what do you call him, broke dame or whatever nickname he came up with him. He doesn't understand because he's not at the level that I'm at. It's the same thing you talk about with Donald Trump. He's at a different level. He's been bankrupt multiple times. And as this gentleman just explained to you, bankruptcy is a tool. But unless you're at that caliber, you don't understand it. You won't understand it. Even though he broke it down to you, I guarantee you, I'm saying, if you ask some people, you know what I'm saying, they still wouldn't understand exactly what the hell he said. So long story short, you know what I'm saying, just understand that different tax brackets have different rules. And just because it's out there in the limelight, you know what I'm saying? Everything ain't cracked up. Everything ain't what it seems to be at all given points. And as I start to get older, I'm starting to understand that. Like, hey, look, you know what I'm saying? You can't take everything face value because you don't know what's happening behind the scenes. 50 Cent has a private jet. He's flying all over the country, but yet he went through bankruptcy. May go through bankruptcy again. Ain't no telling. But you know what I'm saying? I'm not sitting here like, oh, he's broke, which I know you already know he's not broke. But they're using it as a financial tool.
Well, I think the whole thing started with the Breakfast Club when Charlemagne said Trump was a bad businessman. And that's when he set him off. Like, man, he's the president. How is he a bad businessman? He's the president of the United States. That's like the ultimate businessman. You know, he's able to win an election and get a majority of people to vote for him. That is by far like say you're a successful businessman. You know, so they don't understand bankruptcy. Like, yeah, he filed bankruptcy 6 times. That made him richer. You know, so they don't get it, but it is what it is, man. Let's go into this next one. You know, but you know that's why we're behind as far as financial literacy.
And we did that in 5-6 years. We were making so much money that Howard came in and said, well, first of all, let me take you back. They said it could never happen. Starbucks wouldn't last in the black community. We proved them wrong. We had to make some changes to make sure that Starbucks was successful in our community. So we don't eat scones. So we had to take the scones out of my Starbucks. Sweet potato pie, peach cobbler, sock it to me cake. So when you walked into my Starbucks, the feel was different and definitely the music was different. I customize it to my customer. Very, very important. I never made it about me. Where black folks fail is you make it sometimes about you and your likes, not about what the customer like. So remember, always make your business about the customer, and then you will get the returns that you're looking for. So I knew it was time. Howard Schultz came to me and said, listen, we don't have to wait these next 4 years. We're making a lot of money. The multiple is already in the contract. So I start timing times that revenue. Ooh, shoot, I'm good. Vicky, we had a deal to build 120. That's my financial person, Vicky. I go to Vicky for finance. I said, oh, I'm good. So I said, yeah, it's time for me to sell. And sure enough, I sold Starbucks, and who would have ever thought that the Dodgers would be for sale? So I used the money that came back to me from the Starbucks sale and put it into the Dodger deal. Why did I do that? First of all, there was no people of color being owner in Major League Baseball. That's one reason. The second reason is I'm buying the Dodgers. The Dodgers got the biggest brand. It's in baseball. Them and the Yankees, those were the 2 biggest brands. So I knew it was going to be a home run, and now I'm going to give you the numbers. When we bought it, $2.2 billion, 12 years ago, the highest anybody had ever paid for a North America sports team. Forbes just came out with the list, was valued at $7.5 billion. Understand what you're buying when you buy something, right? That brand is so important. I knew we would hit a home run, and sure enough, we were able to do that. That's my financial person, Vicky.
Magic. Great business, man.
Right. I mean, the main thing with Magic, I know you probably heard the story, is his rookie year with Jerry West. He got what Jerry West said, I want to see the ticket holders. I want to sit there, and part of the thing is, hey, I want dinners with them, you know, with the season ticket holders, you know, because if you see you on the floor at the Lakers, you know, you 17 a pop, 18 a pop, $18, you know, $1,000 a night. So you got that money. So he sat there and picked all the season ticket holders' brains, you know, and that's how he became such a good businessman. You know, because you got to learn the language, you got to understand money, you got to understand how this flows, and not only that, your network. Understand your network and how all that works. You know, so your network, he getting with all the people that had money, and he getting to pick their brain on how to make more money. So that's that personal development. So he just didn't focus on just ball. He had a game plan from his rookie year, sitting there with the dentists. So you gotta be about this. Like you gotta be really. You just ain't gonna luck up on something. That's what we think. The strategy is planning, is meeting the right people, is knowing the right things to do. Creativity is all of that, and pouring yourself into this. You know, so I'll go yield.
The biggest thing is, you know what I'm saying, looking 3-4 steps ahead. I think back in the days, you know what I'm saying, when we were young, you know what I'm saying, a lot of the people that made it to the league, albeit MLB, basketball, football, whatever the case may be, they were living in the moment. I'm making a shit ton of money right now, you know what I'm saying? I'm just gonna soak it for as much as I can. This gravy train is gonna last forever until it doesn't. When it doesn't, I'll figure out what else I'm gonna do. And I think that was a recipe for disaster. It's the reason why, you know what I'm saying, it was 70-80% of the professional ball players that go broke after 5-7 years, whatever the statistics said. I think for a lot of the newer athletes, as well as a lot of the older smart ones, they understood that, hey, look, you know what I'm saying, basketball is not going to last forever. I need to try to start working on other things to transition me from basketball. If I torn an ACL tomorrow, what am I going to do? What investments do I have? What's going to sustain me and hold on to this money? And I think Magic did an excellent job of being able to kind of flip that money and make business deals and continue to get bigger and bigger. But now, you know what I'm saying, you listen to Magic and he talks about, man, it gets to a point where you're doing $1 billion deals. $1 million deals is no longer good enough. So, you know what I'm saying? Like, if you want to talk to me about doing a business deal, we need to be in the billions, not millions. Because, you know what I'm saying, I did millions a long time ago. Millions was a Starbucks. You know what I'm saying? We did that. I did that already. I'm already past that. I'm buying Dodgers that went from 2.2 to 7.5. So, you know what I'm saying, if you want to get my attention or have my ear on anything, I'm no longer trying to interested in startups and all this other stuff, you know what I'm saying? Because at this point, I'm too high. I'm at Dodgers, Washington Commanders, whatever else there is. And I think people have to understand that you have to understand the value of what you're investing in and understand, you know what I'm saying, the future value of what you're dealing with. I think a lot of people want to nickel and dime back and forth. As he talked about, you know what I'm saying, as far as the Dodgers go, it was the highest amount of money that anybody has ever paid. They didn't nickel and dime and say, okay, well, look, nobody's ever paid 2.2 for a franchise. Oh, we need to go down. We need to go down to 2 billion or 1.5 billion or whatever the case may be. They didn't nickel and dime that. They understood the actual brand of the Dodgers and what it was going to be in the future. So they went ahead and paid the money. But I think for a lot of us, you know what I'm saying, we like to nickel and dime when it comes to investments, not looking at the bigger picture. And I think for Magic, you know what I'm saying, he was absolutely right on a whole bunch of investments that he made. As well as LeBron, as well as a lot of athletes, Steph Curry, a lot of athletes are making the right decisions and the right investments. So you know what I'm saying, you know, not to go too long on this, but at the end of the day, you know what I'm saying, you have to understand the value and you have to understand what you're invested to. It's not about looking at now, it's about looking at the future 3 or 4 steps ahead. That's it.
Jay, you know, don't forget to comment on the video as well. Like I said, we're reading live. J.R. Fletcher said, welcome to the show. But just join what we're talking about tonight. It's a little bit of hodgepodge. I mean, the theme is started off with like sports as far as, you know, how sports are evolving as far as business. And we're talking about actually business, you know, buying businesses, investing in businesses, even from sports angles, just buying a business, period. amongst other stuff. So it's just a little bit of hodgepodge of everything. So let's go back to this next clip.
Yep.
And then we're going to go ahead and see what's what.
$10,000. The average Domino's makes $1.3 million in sales. Because of operating costs like rent and payroll, the average Domino's owner can expect to take home around $192,000 per year in income. Thinking of franchising but don't know where to start? Comment Primer, and I'll send you my free guide that breaks it all down. You can open a Domino's for only $10,000.
So let's break this down for a second. Like I said, I think let me start off with this on this particular clip. A lot of us want to start our businesses from scratch. You know, we want to start brands, and you actually putting twice as much burden on yourself. Because now you got to build brand awareness, and you got to build product awareness. You know, so and you got to get the sales at the same time. Why not buy into something that already has the brand, already has a proven product, and all you got to do is dump money into it. Also, people don't realize as well, SBA loves franchises. They would be more willing to lend to a franchise than a startup any day, because the franchise has a proven model. They know their franchise or going to have strict guidelines that won't let you fail. Yep. You know, so the SBA will lend money on that because when they underwrite it, it's just like a deal, just like a debt coverage service debt ratio, DSCR. I'm getting tongue tied. They're going to look at how much the average, if you're talking from a franchise from scratch, they're going to look at the area and how much the average sales of a Domino's startup makes. And they're going to underwrite it accordingly from there. The best thing is to buy an existing franchise, that you already have, that's already making money. It's called a silver tsunami. That either boomers want out, or somebody's built it up and now they want the multiplier, like Magic said. They want the multiplier. Now it's time to sell, and you can take your ingenuity and expand on the business. But the thing is to get something that's already making money, and then buy into it. J.R. Fletcher said they want $1 million assets before they approve it. Same as Subway. This is where you got to get creative. You can do partial with SBA. You can get the actual cost of the business, and you can partner with somebody as far as equity. That's where you get the venture capitalists in. The venture firms, they have the $1 million in assets. You're going to be the operator. You slice up the equity between them and do what's a PG, which is called a personal guarantee. And that way you get lion's share of the equity, probably 51%. They're gonna take a back seat, and they just want to. Now you're gonna eat it on this first one, especially if it's a franchise. But the second, the third one, you have more control because now you're building up your assets. But there's ways to get creative around that $1 million assets. That's why they have all these funds, these capital groups out there that's waiting for deals like this, because again, they don't want to run it themselves. They just want to have their money multiply. So I'll go ahead and open up from there.
I think ego is the biggest thing, when it comes to business. I think ego stands in the way of a whole bunch of people making a whole bunch of money faster rather than having to wait or roll the dice on if they're going to actually make it or not. When you talk about business, they talk about, you losing money for the first 1 or 2 years before you actually make it into the green. So if that was the case, why would you buy an established business and then add your own twist to it? Regardless if it's a franchise or not. If there's already a business with an established historical financial P&L, why wouldn't I strongly look at that, as something that I could actually invest in? Why would I want to start from scratch? The reason why most people want to start from scratch is because I want my name, the name that I think about, I want that on the actual front of the business. I want it to be what I want it to be versus knowing that you're going into a deal as an investment. A franchise is cool. You could do a franchise. Domino's is cool. Domino's is going to make money, just like Little Caesars is going to make money. Guaranteed. I get it. But at the end of the day, you know what I'm saying, when you're an investor, you're about making money. And the best way for me to make money is to buy something with a proven track record instead of starting from scratch. If I start from scratch, it may be a hit. It may not be a hit, but I'm rolling the dice. It's 50-50. But if I'm actually able to purchase a business that has historical data of how many people that it has come in, the revenue that it has coming in, it greatly lessens my chances of actually failing. Why would I not go for that? And the only reason I wouldn't go for that is if I'm filled with ego. I want to make sure that I have it my way. And I think that's where a lot of businesses fail. Regardless if you go with franchise, regardless if you go with an independent business that's already structured and already up. I think, you know what I'm saying, the best way to go is to go the historical data, the existing business versus starting your own. But unfortunately, you know what I'm saying, a lot of people choose the opposite, which is their choice.
Right. JR says the civil wave is coming in all aspects of business, homes, real estate, investment. Yes. So yeah, the boomers are getting old. What we mean by silver wave or silver tsunami is that the boomers are getting of age where they're about to retire. So if they don't have kids or family that want to take over the business, a lot of them are selling their business, taking that money and using that as their retirement money. What I would suggest, and I'm doing, and I suggest to other people as well, is look for those deals. People that want to retire, you can take your creativity and bring it up to the modern platform that we're the modern stage, and then expand upon what they've already done. And investors already like that because it has a track record of already making money, and it's less hoping and because think about it, when you got to this much money, when you're talking about a lot of money, people that got a lot of money, it's all about the data.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you could say, oh, does this sound live? Nah, how much money is this already making?
Yep.
And I could prove that. That's a lot more investable than, hey, this is the concept. You know, if I do this, nah. If you have something, if I have financials that's, you know, that can be proven with receipts, that's what they look for. You know, so it's coming. Let me go ahead and run this next clip.
But hold on, let me add to that. Here's the beautiful thing about this. When you talk about opportunity, a lot of those baby boomers that have actually retired have successful businesses, but they have no website, they have no internet, they have no technology presence. So imagine if you're able to get a cash flowing business and able to add an internet presence, an online presence, and able to bring that actual business into the new age. Imagine how much revenue that you could add to that business.
Right.
It's almost a win.
That's most of them. That's most of them.
It is because
they've won in their era, and the era is dwindling. You know, so if you could add on, keep what. That's another thing. Don't do a hostile takeover. When you do take over, keep the things that's working. However, just expand on.
There you go.
The things
Just
that
add to it.
Yeah, just add to it. A lot of people fail when they try to. All right, I got the business now. Let me go ahead and start doing everything my way.
Let me change everything. You know what I'm
Change
saying?
everything.
And that's the
when
recipe.
you crash and burn. So keep on doing what you've been doing, and that's why the bigger groups like franchise, because they have the restrictions. Now you can't put the meat on top of the bacon. The bacon goes here. You got to put it the way they've been doing it, and the way they've been doing it generally means success. So,
Absolutely.
So
it's a reason those customers continue to come back.
Correct.
Because they're doing it. It's expectations at the end of the day. If I go to this restaurant, I know it's going to taste exactly like this. It's going to be presented like this. And the moment you switch that is when you start losing people and you start losing revenue.
Right. So Gerald said, I think I heard it was 10,000 a day for the next 20 years of retiring. Yeah. A lot of people retire. Also, there's a lot of businesses up for grabs.
Yep.
You know, so I would look at the next. And that's all I've been doing is looking at businesses, you know, and seeing what's the next thing. Pour myself into it, just like Magic Johnson said in that previous clips, you know, get the 3 years under your belt, get your top line crazy, and then now you get the multiplier. You get the 3x multiplier, you get the 4x multiplier.
Yep.
You know, and then sell it, take that money, keep going, rinse, repeat. You know, so keep going to the next thing. And I too want to get to the point where, like Magic, where I could get a sports team. You know, so that's coming all down the pipe. Let's go run this next clip.
All right.
You know, speaking of Dave, his Dave
own no television networks. Bounce isn't owned by nobody black. Revolt wasn't never, and still to this day ain't owned by nobody black at all. Well, it was before 20%. Now it's 0. It's all white people.
Wow.
The whole thing. Aspire's not owned by nobody black. BET's not owned by nobody black.
Hey man, BET's not owned by anybody.
No.
Wow.
So they're all black faced, and that's what's controlling the visuals that we see. So we have to own. I mean, like TV One is, you know, but they're a little older. But American New is a place where we can showcase the visuals that we need to see. Not us getting abused, not us only abusing each other, but the movie I made, The Prince of Detroit, is about healthcare.
Yeah.
About how to make money doing something other than being in entertainment, other than being in distraction. They don't show visuals of that. They don't fund movies made like that.
Right.
So the only way for that to happen is for us to not only have our own education, have our own network, make our own music. We got to do it on our own. We got to stick together, and we got to teach each other.
So,
and that's the only way we stop complaining, is to start doing shit. So American New is me saying, the networks, I got my own. Just like when I was putting out Jay-Z first.
Yeah.
The record company, I put out my own. When I'm wearing other people's clothing lines, fuck that, I'll put out my own. That's just me. Fuck that, I'm gonna put out my own. And I like to teach people how to have that kind of freedom by mastering that craft.
That's a tough man to be.
I make my own glasses. I make my own sneakers. We make our own everything. So I just like to make my own. I don't want to cop work. I'd rather be Pablo than cop from Pablo.
Yeah.
If you can grow it, why can't I?
My podcast, I need some new people for my show. Imagine a whole world.
You always got to slip that commercial in there, right?
Always.
At the end.
I'll go ahead
first on that. Dave be saying that, and at the same time, he got on the Breakfast Club talking about he the chairman of Revolt now. You know, so it's like he kind of. You know,
you got to take that shit with a grain of salt.
Right. So I get it. I think it's a hodgepodge of both. It's a mixture of both. I think this is my strategy, and I'm giving away a strategy. And if you're looking at this, you're giving away I'm giving away some jewels. My thing is to get into businesses that's already existing and find out how I can vertically integrate other businesses around that business that's already done. You know, so I can take this business that's already making money.
Yep.
And then come up with some satellite businesses that go into that business that I can own outright. So I'm gonna that this is all me. So yes, it's a mixture of both. I'm gonna take stuff that's already existing and I'll make my own. Both. Not one is better than the other. But I think I like to use OPM, other people's money. I don't want to go from, if I had a whole bunch of money, yes, I could go ahead and throw money at the wall and see what works, to throw products out there. However, why not take something that's already moving, then I'll throw the sunglasses in there. Let's say, for example, if I go ahead and buy a sporting goods franchise, I'm just making stuff up right now.
Yep.
All right, if I own a franchise, the franchise is doing well, then I'm going to go ahead and throw some sunglasses in there. Here's my sunglasses. I'm going to highlight my sunglasses. I just vertically integrated it into this business. And we're going to sell my sunglasses. I did kind of that with my video store. I think when we was in Detroit that time, you and I was playing some of my music. I did that. I was doing the Nipsey Hussle before, in the early 2000s, before Nipsey Hussle was a thing. Like, I made my own DVDs and I did my own soundtracks and I sold it at my stores. Mm-hmm. And my stores were popular. It looked like I was selling a whole bunch of stuff, which I was because I was the retailer.
Yeah.
So that's how I would do it. Yeah, I do my own projects. However, I have the stuff that already makes money to anchor it, if that makes sense.
100%. 100%.
So
a lot of people understand exactly what you're talking about, but you know what I'm saying, they don't necessarily understand what you're talking about, right? So if you talk about, like, for example, you know what I'm saying, where everybody knows, when you talk about Walmart, right? Walmart has everybody else product that you actually go for there that's cheap. You know, they buy it in bulk, you know what I'm saying? You can go and get the cheapest price, whatever the case may be. But also Walmart has Great Value, which is the Walmart brand. That's their vertical integration. So like, hey, look, if I can sell this same product, slap my name on it, and just be a couple of cents cheaper, maybe a couple of dollars cheaper, depending on what it is, you know what I'm saying? I'm actually adding revenue to the actual business, right? It's the same thing. If you're in Texas, you know what I'm saying, you understand what Buc-ee's is. Buc-ee's is a big gas station chain, you know what I'm saying, between here, Louisiana, and they're expanded all throughout the country. And it's a gas station where a lot of travelers go to get a clean restroom. A clean restroom where you don't have to wait in line. There's plenty of stalls, whatever the case may be. Buc-ee's has everybody else brand, but Buc-ee's also sell a bunch of Buc-ee's brand. That's the vertical integration that we're talking about, where you're using you're using a place where you have other people's brands to draw you in, but then also, you know what I'm saying, they have their own brand there that may be a little bit cheaper than everybody else, that maybe, man, you know what I'm saying, I'm saving a few dollars, or I'm saving this, or whatever the case may be, I'm going to get that because it looks exactly the same. I'm going to get that in order to save a few dollars. That's that vertical integration and where B is talking about, you know what I'm saying? And then that's the smart aspect of it. That's where a lot of the major companies are doing. That's where they're going with that. But when you talk about Dame Dash, you know what I'm saying? A lot of that stuff that he talks about, man, you got to take that stuff with a grain of salt. Like he talked about the CEO. When you talk about Revolt, you know, I don't know. I didn't hear anything about Diddy selling a majority stake in Revolt. I don't know. From what I know, for what I do know is that Tyler Perry, which is black, has bought a large stake in BET, whatever that stake is. So from my understanding, you know what I'm saying, BET is majority black, from what I know. So when he talks about BET is not owned by black people, you know what I'm saying? I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Dame Dash be all over the place. Some of the stuff he says is true. Some of the stuff he says is not accurate. Not to say that he's lying. Maybe he just had bad information that's being reported back to him. I don't know what the case may be. But on some of the stuff that he says, you know what I'm saying, my understanding is a little bit different. But at the end of the day, I understand what he's talking about. I understand what B's talking about with the vertical integration. It's always going to be better to own your own. But in some cases, you know what I'm saying, you have to use other people's stuff as a stepping stone to get to your own.
Well,
there's nothing wrong with that.
I don't look at it. I don't mean to hop on this point. I don't look at it as somebody else. We got to stop that. If I buy into a franchise, a Domino's, a Pizza Hut, or a Whataburger, whatever, I don't think Whataburger sell franchises, but anything, you know, you got what I'm saying. It's my brand at that point. They did the heavy lifting. It's still my business. It's my business in the business. So we got to stop looking at it. It ain't got to say B's on the side, B's Hamburger, you know, but the LLC is going to be B LLC. Doing business as Domino's.
For sure. But I think for Dame Dash, like, look, if I want to do something, so like, you know what I'm saying, he used the example of Rockefeller, right? If I'm Rockefeller, you know what I'm saying, and I want to put out a Jay-Z album, there's nobody to tell me, hey, look, I don't like song 2 and 3. You need to take that off. There's nobody to do that.
Right. But however, these businesses fuel that your creative passion projects. You have more leeway to actually bring that stuff to market if you got these other businesses. So don't get. So I'm saying this for youngsters that's look. Oh, do your own. Like, Dave. That's not necessarily always the path. You might want to buy somebody else's business, keep the brand, you know, and use that to fuel other stuff. That's, I think, is the better strategy. than to try to, all right, I got my own. I'll just try to compete, because a lot of times they're not going to let you have that market share. Depends on what you're talking about. If you're talking about like a commodity or something like that, like yogurt or milk, you're not getting shelf space.
Yeah.
So it depends on what you're talking about. You might as well buy into these brands that's already established. There's all kind of ways to get it. We got to stop thinking of one way to get it. I got to create my own.
We have to stop limiting ourselves, as far as that goes, which I 100% get. And here's the other thing too, is that we have to stop thinking about we have to do it ourselves. Like, it exponentializes, your actual growth and the success rate when you actually partner with somebody, especially somebody that's already did it. I'm not going to go into a restaurant and do the restaurant by myself and say, oh man, well, it's my own. Nobody's going to tell me what to do, whatever the case may be. It's more beneficial for me to actually get into business and partner with somebody that's been in a restaurant, somebody that has 20 years of experience. That increases the chance of success. And then just like J.R. Fletcher said, Shaq is the king of it. When you talk about Shaq owns, what do you say, 150 businesses, 200 businesses, whatever the case may be. And I saw in an interview where Shaq talks about, when somebody asks him, how can you have so many businesses? And Shaq simply says, I partner.
Right.
I partner. And we talking about Shaq. Shaq is, has so much money, he's everywhere. You can't be everywhere at all times and have your thumb on everything. And and when you partner, you exponentialize, your success rate, and then you actually leverage your time to be able to go out and do other businesses.
Let me make let's talk about this. Let me unpack this for especially people in our community. And because I want to say it because nobody taught me this, and I've been through it. When we say partner, we ain't talking about your partners. Let me say it one more time. When we say partner, we're not talking about your partners.
Can the church say amen? Can the church say amen?
So you gotta expand your mind. I thought that, all right, man, I got an idea. Let me go around and tell some people, and then they're gonna throw some money at me. You got to realize they're not investors. You trying to squeeze blood out of turnip.
Yeah.
You trying to put a square peg in a round hole. Mm-hmm. You trying to get somebody to be, an investor. They don't do that. Why not go to people that do that? You see, we wasn't taught that. Why go to your unless your circle of influence is investors? You're going to a person that work at the post office, a person that work on the railroad, and trying to get them to invest, and that's not what they do. So for the youth out there that might be catching this on the replay or watching it, go where the money's at. They got people, all kind of people, funds, capital groups. That's what they do. They're looking for something like that. Now you can't just, all right, I got an idea and a dream. You got to have your stuff together. Where's your experience? I'm gonna give you another jewel. So we're an hour and 40 minutes in. If you watch it this long, you deserve these jewels.
Mm-hmm.
Do like I do. Learn and earn. Learn and earn. So if you have no experience, let's say if I wanted to buy, let's just make up something, a Discount Tires franchise.
Uh-huh.
Go work for them. Go run a store. Now I got the experience. Hey, investors. I know a store that's for sale. Here's the financials. And I've been running one for the last 2 years. I know all the ins and outs. Do you think that's not attractive to people with money?
Oh, 100%.
But now we want to just pitch an idea. What's more powerful? I got the experience and I'm presenting you with the deal that's already making money, or I got an idea. Who do you think is going to get the money?
I got an idea. Rent them spoons.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I got an idea. You know what I'm saying? Open up a restaurant and have rental spoons.
Right.
Like you know what I'm saying? That ain't going to work.
Right. Where's
But,
the concept? Where's the
here's
proof?
the thing. Here's the thing, you know what I'm saying, is that you don't necessarily have to have the experience, you know what I'm saying? But if you have the money and you don't have the experience, find somebody with the experience.
Right. But I'm talking about I'm comparing it to people looking for what to do. In the industry that you want to be in, or go work there, go gain the experience. 6 months to a year. That way, hey, look, I know how to run this thing. Here's my numbers. You see, instead of, all right, I'm pitching from the outside. I think I'm hoping, because any way that you do, there's going to be a learning curve. And don't forget, these people that's lending this money, they want to see their money returned as soon as possible. So what you're doing with the data that you're giving them is that, hey, by doing this, I can make your return, your ROI quicker and more efficient. And that's music to their ears.
Yep.
You leverage yourself. You see?
Yep.
But a lot of people don't have the ego, don't want to do that. Don't want to roll the sleeves up. You want to pitch an idea and then get mad when the people don't want to invest in it. Or you go and ask the wrong person to invest and get mad because they don't. That's not what they do. Hey, that's like you telling me, man, hey, let's go to the 3-point shoot. Man, I ain't shot a three probably in like 20 years. I ain't pick up a basketball in like 20 years, man. You know, so that's not what I do. You know, Gerald said I learned the lessons the hard way. Yeah, that's why hence the podcast, man. I give jewels every now and then, man. Let's go to this next
Hey,
one.
look, JR, you know what I'm saying? If you can share with us, tell us about the lesson. You know what I'm saying? That's what we want to know. Hey, look, you know what I'm saying? We giving gems out here, man. You know what I'm saying? Look, personal lessons, you know what I'm saying, from what we heard or whatever the case may be. If you can share it, go ahead and share what your lesson was.
Never retire unless you have enough passive income to replace your earned income. If you don't have that, no matter what age you are right now, 30, 40, 50, 60, you're going to keep working because you can't live off a pile of money like you think you can. You have to have earned income. So when you look at what you have to work with, your net worth, most of your net worth earns you nothing. Think about it. What'd your 401k pay you last month? Nothing. In fact, you paid it. Pretty nasty, huh? What'd your IRA pay you last month? Nothing. You paid it. What did your paid in full home pay you last month? Nothing. You paid the taxes and insurance to live there. You don't have anything paying you money. And if you don't have your money working for you, then you're going to be spending the rest of your life working for money, right? Why do you get up and go to work every day? Cash flow. But I've got a nice 401k. You don't care. You can't quit because you got no money. You will never retire unless you have enough passive income.
Dale Walmsley.
Let me go ahead.
Been in this thing forever.
Let me go ahead. This ties right into what we were talking about from the previous clips. Just like those investors, you want to have this income coming in from different arenas, this earned income coming in. So you want to have your iron and a lot of irons in this fire to keep it going. You know, because think about it. If you stop, if you're still in that mind frame of trading time for money, what happens when you run out of time?
Yep.
You know, you got to have to where that passive income is now your new earned income. And I don't know if we talked about it before, but I'll break down the formula here in a second. But let me further unpack this thing. So don't forget that there's going to come a time when you can't work. Now what's going to happen? Well, you can't trade time for money no more because I can't stand up. I can't get out of bed. What's going to happen then? You know, so you got to get out of that mind frame of trading time for money. Also, like I said earlier in the program, I was on a Zoom call. Mike Corder said this today: when you got to be in the actual business in order for it to make money, that's not a business; it's a job. So you get your investments. I get again a combination of both, where I'm buying franchises, I'm buying this, and I'm starting my own, and I'm vertically integrating it with those businesses. That way, I got several different streams coming in. Because that 401k, don't forget 401k, according to Robert Kiyosaki, it's a ripoff. You know, they created that for people that don't know how to invest and don't know how money works. You know, so think about it. You gotta pay taxes on that when the money's worth less than it was when you originally put it in there. So 401k is not a good deal. 401k is not a lifesaver like you think. You know, so Gerald said your partner is not your partner investor is not going to roll up their sleeve and make the business. Your partner is not your partner. An investor is not going to roll up their sleeves and make the business work or grow.
That's correct.
Right. Well,
depending on what kind of investor they are,
they make it grow with the cash flow, with the working capital. Also, they make it work with the connections. You know, because like say for example, if I need a CIO, a chief information officer, and that particular firm is from the tech industry. All right, here you go. I'm gonna put you with my tech person. Or I need a particular financing. I got a financing aspect of it, financial aspect, and I need a bank to lend. You know, because I'm in retail, I want my own credit card. So here's the financial institution that's gonna make your own credit card, and I got the connections to do that. So they make things go, not necessarily on a grunt level, but they can make things go by their connections and their connections and their capital. Does that make sense?
That's possible, you know what I'm saying? But I think what JR is saying is that, you know what I'm saying, like, let's say, for example, when Del Walmsley talk about, you know what I'm saying, and he's a proponent of real estate, right? So let's just say I syndicate this deal to go buy an apartment complex or a multifamily or whatever the case may be. If I have investors that put it in there, you know what I'm saying, that put money in there, they're putting money in there just to get a return. Like, you know what I'm saying, if I got to go change a light bulb, or if I got to go, you know what I'm saying, replace a sheetrock or whatever the case may be, they are not the people that I can turn to. I can't say, hey, look, you know what I'm saying, you put some money in, this is our investment, man. I can't find contractors, man. We got to go over here and paint this apartment complex. They're not the persons that you're going to turn to in order to do that. Because at the end of the day, you know what I'm saying, when you're talking about investors that put money in, they're putting money in to get a return out. But they're passive investors for a reason. Because they want to be passive. They don't want to be active. I don't want to go over there and paint and kick people out and go to court and do all this other stuff. I just want to put my money in. You tell me what's going on with my money, and you send me a check at the end of the month or at the beginning of the month, whatever the case may be. That's all I want to do. Is what I think JR is talking about. But JR can clarify what he's talking about. But I think Del Walmsley has a great principle. And when he talks about the real estate group that he's had for years, he's always talked about, you know what I'm saying, when you invest your money, you're not investing your money to save money so that you can pinch off of it so that I can hopefully die before I run out of money. What you're looking to do is you're looking to invest your money to create passive cash flow so that I can continue to get this cash flow for the rest of my life. So even when I retire, I'm getting this cash flow check that I don't have to work for because it's passive at the end of the day. So if I invest in this apartment complex and I'm not the lead investor, I just want to put money in. You just send me a check. I want to be able to go on vacation, do whatever I want to do, whatever the case may be, you know what I'm saying, and not have to worry about doing any manual labor at the end of the day. Which I think has always been a great principle, but I think a lot of people think of, I just need to save money, 401k, save money. And then when I save that money, eventually, you know what I'm saying, I can pinch off of it when I retire. And then hopefully, you know what I'm saying, I die before I run out of money. That's no way to be. The way that, you know what I'm saying, you actually live a retirement to where, you know what I'm saying, you can sit back and do whatever you want to do and not have to worry about money, as if you're investing something that's going to consistently pay you out a check every single month and not touch your principal.
Right.
And that's what he's always preached. You know what I'm saying? That's what he was talking about right there. And I think that's a great principle to live by, but I just don't think, majority of America lives by that principle.
Yeah, again, you gotta, like I said earlier in the program, you gotta remanufacture your thinking in order to be successful. Because again, that's just like that you're hoarding money and then trying to make it stretch until you die. And then from there, it never works like that, because there's always there's inflation, there's things that's going to happen. It's not going to work like that. Let's go to this next one. Then I want to go ahead. Let's go ahead. I don't know if I ever did this before. Let me go ahead and break this down.
Okay.
All those that hadn't heard this before. And I borrowed this from Kevin Samuel, so I don't want to say like I invented this.
Oh, shit.
You got to take what you are comfortable with annually. I don't know if I should. What would you say you'd be comfortable with? Like, a number. Give me a number where you can still take your Disneyland vacations, for 2 weeks out of the. What the number that right now you can live off comfortable?
Live off comfortable.
Annually.
Annually.
Correct.
120.
120. Were you still able to take the family vacations in LA for 2 weeks?
Yes.
Okay, so $120. Would it be safe to say, because you're a little bit younger than me, for the next 25 years, when you retire, 65, that 120 is going to be more like 360?
Yeah, I 100% agree.
Yeah.
Between inflation?
Yeah.
Inflation, you know what I'm saying? And yeah, for sure.
So 360. So let's take from 65 to 85.
Yep.
That's 20 years. Because the average person lives about 70 ish. But hopefully you live, to like 80, 85. Right?
Correct.
So let's take that 360 times 20. That's $7.2 million. So the theory that you said earlier, where you could, just accumulate enough money and then stop without no earned income, with no passive income coming in, you're gonna need $7.2 million just to live status quo.
Yep. Not
anything extravagant, just how you've been living.
Correct.
You need $7.2 million. So what you got to do, let's deconstruct this further. So you got 25 years to do that. So you got to divide that by 25. I'm saying that you're about 40. I know you're probably a little bit older than that, but that's an extra $288,000 on top of what you're already making. Let's say that's 120.
Yep.
So you got to make $408,000 a year to be on par, to be on point, to make that.
Mm-hmm.
So this is all mathematics.
Mm-hmm.
Or you can start getting you some businesses.
Correct.
You know what I'm saying? That's the choices, because either way, it's coming. That time is undefeated. It's coming. You see what I'm saying?
Is there well possible, you know what I'm saying? But people have to switch the way that they look at retirement, right? You know what I'm saying? Right. As we talked about before, you know what I'm saying? A lot of people are saying, hey, look, I need to hoard money as much as possible. And then once retirement comes, you know what I'm saying, I downsize my lifestyle. And then I'm able to pinch off that money, you know what I'm saying? Hopefully I die before I run out of money. But I do think, you know what I'm saying, if you take that money and you invest that money in order to actually be able to get a paycheck every single month. Now, when we talk about, you know what I'm saying, it doesn't necessarily have to be real estate. It could be real estate. You can have single family homes or whatever the case may be that pay you out $500 a month, you know what I'm saying, in cash flow, whatever the case may be. I actually did a deal for a real estate investor that was 81 years old, still managing his own properties. He had 22 doors and he was making $18,000 he was making $18,000 a month in retirement. At that point, you know what I'm saying, he wasn't even cashing in on retirement. He wasn't taking Social Security just because he was making so much money for his rental property. And when you talk about the value of his rental property, you know what I'm saying, he was over $1.5 million for value because everything was paid off because he's been investing since he was young.
Right.
When you talk about a retirement like that, you can live until you're 150. Which we know is not likely, but you can live till you're 150, you're going to continue to get that cash flow. Even if you have to take money out of your property, or even if you have to put a property management in place, which he was his own property management, even if you have to put property management in place and then actually lower that, you know what I'm saying? The biggest thing is when it comes to retirement is cash flow.
Right.
That's the biggest thing. Whether you do an annuity, whether you do a life insurance policy, whatever the case may be, cash flow is the key to retirement.
Right. Let's go because I got a few more. Let me go ahead and keep it going here. Keep it going.
Percent of the motels in the country are under Patel ownership. What happened was a small number of hotels came into the United States in the early 70s, the refugees. They realized that if we buy a really small motel, 10, 12, 14 room motel, the family can live in 1 or 2 rooms and the family can do all the work. It's a job and a house together. Yeah, so basically cooking, cleaning, front desk, laundry. And because they had no costs, they were able to charge nightly rates that were lower than all the neighboring motels. So what would happen is the Patel-owned motel would be running 100% occupancy. The other motels couldn't match that rate because they'd lose money. And as their nephew came of age, they would help him out to buy his own motel. And then the nephew would get that going, and then the next one. You run this for 50 years, and they've actually gone up market now. So a lot of the Hiltons, Marriotts, Westons, if you really look, you'll find it's under Patel. And then they went into 7-Eleven. 70% of the motels in the country are under Patel.
I mean, that's long term.
Each other grow.
You know what I mean? Long-term strategy, long-term planning, making something out of nothing, growing. Now they got 70% of the market share. I think it's one family. Now they're not. Patel is like one family. Their nephews and their uncles, cousins, and all that stuff. One family owns 70% of the motels in the U.S.
Yeah.
So what that said is that, and like you said, even they got bigger and they start buying into the bigger brands to expand. See, it's a combination of both. I'm not against buying into a Hilton, buying into a bigger brand to propel my cash flow. That's a trusted brand. Why try to build a Brandon's? That's gonna take years. You see what I'm saying? I just want the cash. So, Gerald said my mentor told me that this 20 years ago, 10 houses that pay you $1,000 a month, all paid off. Now I think 20 rentals or 20 doors. I think it's 20 rentals.
There you go. And then here's the thing is that, you know what I'm saying, if you have those 20 houses, 20 doors, that's paying you $20,000 a month, you know what I'm saying, you're way better than anybody else. Majority, probably 90-95% of people that's in your same retirement situation. So, you know what I'm saying, if you get to the point, and I can imagine at retirement, you know what I'm saying, $20,000 is not enough for you to retire and live comfortably, right? Well, let's just say, you know what I'm saying, for example, you have 10 doors, you know what I'm saying, and you're paying $1,000 a month because everything is paid off. One, you have a shit ton of equity within these properties that you can easily pull out on any given occasion, especially now with all the different products that they have. But at the end of the day, you know what I'm saying, if you need more income, you can go and buy more property. But you know what I'm saying, when you're saving your pension off a 401k or your pension off savings or whatever the case may be that you have, you know you don't necessarily have the ability to go out and purchase more property to create more income. So I don't think necessarily people look at real estate. I think people are more afraid of, man, what if I lose, you know what I'm saying? Lose money on real estate. You know what I'm saying? What if real estate goes down? It's a bad market, whatever the case may be. I think people talk themselves out of a lot of opportunity that they have to set themselves up for retirement, because other people that have not been able to set themselves up for retirement give them opinions about what they think that they should do. So I 100% agree with JR, is that, you know what I'm saying, it makes sense that if you start early investing in properties, you're eventually able to pay those properties off, and those properties become free and clear. And well, guess what? Rental is doing nothing but going up every single year. Guaranteed they're going up every single year. So all you're doing is increasing your income just from the increase of actual rent. If you choose to keep rent at the same thing, you're still keeping good cash flow. But I think it's a great principle that Dale Walmsley talked about, which we just saw his video. But unfortunately, you know what I'm saying, a lot of people are too scared to understand, you know what I'm saying, the actual principles of finance and the way to actually retire and be able to live comfortably. It's very unfortunate.
Gotcha. Gerald said he cashed out equity every once in a while, and then when the rates got low, it took out 50% and let the renters pay the loan back. Well,
Yep.
I mean, once rinse, repeat.
That's it. That's a smart way. I mean, you know what I'm saying? So obviously, you know what I'm saying, JR has talked to somebody, you know what I'm saying, that understands the way that money's supposed to work. But regardless, you know what I'm saying, if you tell somebody that until you blue in the face, at the end of the day, you know what I'm saying, people fear gets in the way. And it stops them from actually living that life that they talked about.
This is the flip side. I want to play with something on the flip side. We've been playing all these positive videos. Let's play something else. And this is the people in that same mentality, with the fear mentality.
Yep.
Let's go ahead and play the flip side real quick.
All right.
Y'all, I know a little something about the lottery and the odds. Trust me. I know. This is about $40,000 in losing tickets right here on the Staple. I'm back in 2019, and I stopped playing. I'd buy at least 2 to 3 books of tickets a week. And I was playing these tickets pretty heavy, and the store where I buy them, I was going to trade my tickets out and get the book they had in the cabinet. And I said, screw it, I'm going to quit. Well, when I got back later that day, I said, no, I can't. So I went in to get the tickets, and he's like, where was you at today? I said, I had to go to Gainesville or whatever. He said, you missed a winning ticket. What's crazy is I was sitting in this parking lot earlier that morning, and I probably would have bought the book. The lady won $1 million. But, I mean, obviously I've made money. And I was making money back then to afford this. But anytime you walk in there and think about buying these tickets, this is your chances. These are all $20, $30 tickets. There's a bunch of $10 tickets in here. But you see it. That's many, many, many books. But when I tell y'all I know a little something about,
it's a lot of tickets. A lot of tickets.
I know you think this is cap, but I've never purchased a lottery ticket in my life. I don't know how it works. Don't care to know how it works. Never done it. You know.
I can't say the same.
Never will.
I never bought $40,000 worth of lottery tickets, but I bought some lottery tickets in my time. Hey, look, and been given some lottery tickets in my time.
Yeah, I'm seeing them, the little stuff at convenience store, but never piqued my interest. And the reason why is because it's a lottery out here. I already got enough games and chance, so I don't like the odds. The odds are so far fetched. I'd rather take that money and invest it. But again, I have a different mind frame. I don't understand. I never understood that. It's like, all right, I'm gonna jump out of a plane, and you have a small amount of chance that parachute's gonna deploy. Why would you jump out that plane? You know, so I never understood the lottery. The odds are so low. What? It's not feasible. You know, so I just never understood it. Like, why waste your money on that? I could do so much with it. How much are tickets? I don't even know how much the tickets are.
Quick picks are $1.
I don't know what a quick pick
So,
is.
you know what I'm saying? You know, quick picks is when you walk into the gas station and you say, hey, look, you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna let the computer pick whatever it is, you know what I'm saying, that the numbers are. So give me 5 quick picks, you know what I'm saying? You may spend $5 or $10 on one trip to the gas station, you know what I'm saying, just trying to get 5 quick picks, you know what I'm saying, on the opportunity that it may win.
And then,
Now they got it, now they made it so easy, you know what I'm saying, where they got it in an app. You can download an app and be able to do it, you know what I'm saying, which is actually made it a lot worse.
Don't know. Never got into gambling. Never was good at it. Never got into lottery pick. I just thought it was. I thought it was asinine. I never seen. Why would I waste money? I'd rather give the money to somebody that. Yeah, and then try to.
I get it. Different strokes, different folks.
Yeah,
but you know what I'm saying? It's been plenty of poor people that's won. There's been plenty of rich people that won. You know what I'm saying? It's just the luck of the draw.
I mean, what is it? Is it like exhilarating or stuff like that? What is it? Why would you? It's a bad investment.
It's just, you know what I'm saying, people invested in the opportunity to change their lives and their family members' lives.
But
that's it.
It's so far fetched. It's like, you know.
Hey, look, it's far fetched for you, but you know what I'm saying, it's realistic for some people. So you know what I'm saying, look, I'm not a lottery ticket goer, you know what I'm saying, whatever the case may be. Even when they had the pot, you know what I'm saying, they just got up to what, 1.5 billion or 1.2 billion, whatever it was, whatever the case may be. I didn't necessarily have the motivation to go get a ticket, right? You know what I'm saying? But for a lot of people, when the pot gets high, a lot of people that don't play the lottery, you know what I'm saying, feel the need to go play the lottery.
I just never understood it. It's a bad investment. You only one winner, and they got millions of people playing. That's crazy.
Oh yeah,
I got a better chance of getting in the NFL. Let me go and get in shit and try to get drafted.
It's a low number, you know what I'm saying, but people play it every single day.
I never got it.
Every single day.
It's like I'm playing a couple of post people clips now, so I don't understand this either. Let's play. I don't understand this one either.
All right,
we can dissect this.
I live in the storage unit because it's cheap in comparison to an apartment. Living here is actually really comfortable. I get a lot of things that I need and want to get done here. I can exercise. I can use the bathroom. I can play music anywhere in the unit. It's climate controlled in here, so it's nice and warm. This unit is 24 hours, so I can come here anytime I want, stay here as long as I need to. We can take naps if we need to and go to sleep. So this is our living space. Very, very grateful to have this space. The next goal is to get an RV. The next goal after that, tiny home. And if we want to eat, I just cook right out front. Or we'll just prepare something cold inside of the unit. Sandwiches, a lot of times we make salad. If we want to get power, we use our power bank. They also have power here so we can charge our power bank. Me and my baby will live here as long as we need to until we get the shelter that we want. Because we're living here, now we can save up more money to get what we really want. We're in it for the long haul. Thank you for the support. Thanks for watching.
I can't even, you know what I'm saying? I can't even I can't even criticize it for the simple fact of you're living in a storage unit, you know what I'm saying? It's just probably, you know what I'm saying, a lot cheaper than any other efficiency that you can get out there now.
Yeah.
So, you know what I'm saying? Like, even though, you know what I'm saying, it's a bad situation, people going to judge you. And when you say, oh, you know what I'm saying, I live at such address or whatever the case may be, you know what I'm saying, this is my storage unit, woo, woo, woo. People are definitely going to judge you. But at the end of the day, you know what I'm saying, like, I can't fault them. depending on your situation, you know what I'm saying? If that's what it is, hey, look, at least you're surviving. You're not out there on the streets begging for money.
How you know that?
So, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know that, you know what I'm saying? But I don't know he's in a dire strait to be able to even need to be in a storage unit. But guarantee, you know what I'm saying, if he's in a storage unit living like that, you know what I'm saying, he's probably a lot cheaper than any apartment that he can get out there, especially with the way prices are now.
I mean, that's a good business idea. Have you in a storage unit, climbing unit, you know, go and live. That's an efficiency apartment, and y'all share a bathroom, one shower for like one hallway, and have it cheap, affordable housing. You know,
that's it. Hey, look, you know what I'm saying? I can't judge anybody for, you know what I'm saying, being able to survive and being able to do what they need to do to survive. So, you know what I'm saying? Like, look, if that's what he has to do, like, I can't judge that. You know what I'm saying? It's not a bad option for what the setup that he has over there. You know what I'm saying? Like, I can't judge it.
I don't know all the situation. However, there's two of y'all, both y'all laying down somebody, but there's no way that you can't tell me two people that got both arms, both legs can't put themselves in a better situation. I'm sorry.
I strongly disagree with that. Strongly disagree. Because, you know what I'm saying, if that was the case, you know what I'm saying, we wouldn't have the large problem of homelessness that we have.
Well, it's a mental problem. It's not necessarily opportunity problem. It's a mental problem. Something's going on with your mental where you're not willing to do what it takes in order to get where you want to be. You know,
man. Yeah, I don't necessarily see that. And here's the reason why, you know what I'm saying, is because I've gone through some situations where, you know what I'm saying, we had to voluntarily, you know what I'm saying, provide and feed to the homeless, right? So when you feed to the homeless and you talk about the certain situations that they're in and hear the backstory, you understand why they are where they are. You know what I'm saying? It's not necessarily for a lack of effort. It's just for a lack of circumstance is what it is. So, you know what I'm saying? It's easy to sit on the outside looking in and be like, man, you know what I'm saying? You could absolutely do better. There's so many opportunities out here, but people have setbacks for whatever reason. There's many reasons that people have setbacks, you know what I'm saying? And when they have those setbacks, I can't be the one to judge them just to survive and be able to make it to the next level, to be able to make it to that opportunity where they can go get their own apartment, where they can do better than a storage unit. But at the end of the day, you know what I'm saying, they got to do what they got to do to survive.
I mean,
I'm
that's
not judging that.
That's the problem. And I know I'm probably talking Greek to most people. That's the problem. You're surviving instead of thriving. If you want to thrive, put your mind to it and thrive. You know, so if you're in survival mode, you're gonna do the minimal. You know, that's the issue, and I know that's probably over a lot of people's head. But I want to play a couple more, so let's go to the next one.
Yep.
It's getting late. Boom, let's go ahead and run this. It's probably one of your favorite human beings right here.
A lot of girls feel like I got to spend a minimum $300 to be with them. I'm like, what? $300? American dollars? Please.
Shit. That's what I'm talking about.
Yo, Chad, for what? You're considered a high value man. So, ladies, this is for this. You got money? I think high value is based on stream of income, revenue, but I am extremely cheap and financially conscious. So I don't consider myself a high value man. And you have a lot of money. Yes. Yes. And I'm going to save it, which is why a $300 date ain't never happening. Because what am I paying for actually? If I'm at wit's end and I need help and I'm with you and you need a $300 date, can she save me? Can she help me? Is she an asset or is she a liability? Because anybody need a $300 date off rip is nothing but a liability. I mean, it is. It's called a spade a spade. I'm with you. Come on. Women that want $300 dates, there are men out there that are going to continue to take them on them. That's why the women can always say, I'm not doing nothing but $300 a date, because there are men that will spend $300 to reach their end goal. We know what the end goal is. American dollars? Dollars, please. What is a good amount of money to spend on the first date? A lot of girls feel like
Oh man, goddamn.
Well, so I mean, Chad's different,
That's
man.
facts. That's facts.
I mean, I feel him on certain stuff, but I never was a fake it till you make it kind of guy because I like authentic stuff. And then secondly, the way I disagree with Chad is that you got to spend to win. You know, now I ain't taking no $300 dates. You know what I mean? But I feel him. I'm not cheap as far as everything. I'm not a penny pincher. I believe you got to spend to win. Now, in that aspect, you're right about the dates, but as far as business, you better spend. You better put that money out.
But he didn't ask him about business, B. He asked him about dates. We're talking about dates. $300 date.
Sure.
Would you ever go on a date? Would you ever go on a date where you said you had to spend $300?
Possibly, but not off the rip.
No way in hell.
Yeah, not off the rip. I think I've spent more than $300 because my fit.
No way in hell.
You know, when I was in that dating phase, my fit cost more than $300. You know,
No way
so
in hell. Just for a date? Hold on, you spent $300 just for a date?
Possibly, yeah. I mean, I never counted it. Yeah, possibly. I mean, that ain't a lot of money because you better tell you go to dinner and movies.
I mean, different stroke, different folks. You know
Yeah.
I hear you. I just can't. Myself. You know what I'm saying? I just can't do it. Look,
yeah,
like
Ruth
Chad
Chris
said,
for sure,
man. Ruth Chris
Yeah.
on a date?
Yeah, but
look, I'm on a Chad level, right? You know what I'm saying? So when you talk about $300 a date, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's crazy to me. So like, if you my wife and we're going out, oh, absolutely. You know what I'm saying? I ain't got no problem. You know what I'm saying? Look, let's go out and enjoy ourselves. I ain't got no problem with that. But when you're talking about dating somebody and you're not even knowing if you're getting anything in return, even if you are getting something in return, $300 on a date is bananas to me. Even if you go to Ruth Chris for two, $300 is crazy. Like, you getting the most expensive steak, you getting 5-6 sides, you know what I'm saying, knowing that you ain't gonna eat it, and you drinking to bejesus. Like, that's crazy to me. You know what I'm saying? To actually do that on a date. Yes, absolutely.
I'm talking about dinner and the movie. Then Ruth Chris probably gonna hit you for two. For sure, for two.
Even if you go to let's just say you go to a movie, you know what I'm saying? You go to a movie at maybe $15 a ticket, that's $30, right?
Right, but
you get popcorn, everything else, popcorn, drinks, all that other stuff, you know what I'm saying? It may come up to $60 or $70, right?
There you go.
So you know what I'm saying? And then you go $60, $70 to go see a movie, you go out to eat, you know what I'm saying? Like, what are we going out to? We going out to Ruth Chris, you know what I'm saying, to actually splurge? Like, you getting lobster and shrimp? Like,
I'm not again. I don't want to spend too much time on this. I can see where $300. That's not a $600. $300 to $600 on a date is about right.
No fucking way. No fucking way.
However, I don't believe it, especially if you're on a come up.
No fucking way.
Yeah, you should take
unless you know what I'm saying, we've been dating for a while, you know what I'm saying, and then you know what I'm saying, you know, it's your birthday or something. Right. And you know, we taking shots, you know what I'm saying, or whatever the case may be to celebrate your birthday or something like that. On a regular date, even a first date, like a first date is crazy to me to spend $300. There's no fucking way. Even if I got $15 million in the bank, you know what I'm saying. But here's the thing, that's just me. Like, you know what I'm saying, you got some cats, some cats that got $15 million, you know what I'm saying. Hey, look, man, $300, man, that's not, I do that. Right. Whatever case may be.
This is the thing. I'm
on Chad level.
I'm not doing that. It's about the experience for me. I don't like to cheapen my experience.
I hear you.
Yeah, if I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna do it. But I don't do it a lot. But when I do it, I like to do it.
I got you.
That's just me. You should know that by now. I don't like if I do it. I don't like to go pinching and bargaining.
There's no way else. There's no way you spending $300, B. You know what I'm saying, on a chick. You know what I'm saying, that you don't even know if she's gonna be there tomorrow. She may not even.
Look at it like this. It's for the experience.
Okay.
Yeah, it's for the experience. It's that, you know, it's going at Ruth Chris, taking that steak, you know, looking at something, nice little eye candy while I'm carving up that steak. It's the experience for me.
I got you.
You know what I'm saying? So
I got you.
It's not about like spending on her. It's about, all right, something I might enjoy. You see what I'm saying? The experience. So, but you got to have an entertainment budget, and that's part of the entertainment. Is that GFE, that girlfriend experience. You feel what I'm saying? So don't cheat yourself. Preach yourself. You know what I mean?
I hear you.
But I don't have. That's just me. Different story. I'm not. I don't have to explain myself, but I don't like to do stuff halfway. If I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna do it.
Okay.
So I don't want to go. All right, let me go to Outback because I won't be cheap. Nah, if I want to go to Ruth Chris, I won't go to Ruth Chris.
You'll never see the day.
Across this really interesting video. A curvy lady, beautifully dressed in a black, long-fitted gown, stepped out of a sleek car.
Sounds classy already. What happened next?
Well, she walked up to a woman hawking avocado pears. At first, it looked like she just wanted to buy, but instead, she asked the hawker if she could help her sell.
Wait. You mean this well-dressed lady, fresh out of a fine car, wanted to hawk avocado pears on the street?
Exactly. The hawker even gave her a second tray to balance on her head. And guess what? This elegant lady hit the road, hawking like she'd been doing it all her life.
I can imagine the reaction.
Oh, the reaction was wild. She sold out in no time. Men passing by were rushing, buying more than they needed, just because of who was selling.
That right there is deep. Same avocado pears, but a different package.
Yes, that's the moral. Sometimes it's not about the product itself. It's about presentation. Branding, appearance, and packaging can completely change how people respond.
So true. What struggled to sell in one hand became hotcake in another simply because of the way it was presented.
Exactly. Whether in business or in life, never underestimate the power of packaging. So I came.
I like that one.
I believe that one.
Yeah,
100%.
Yeah, man, how much for that old basket? Let me go get that old basket, man.
Man, look, it's sex sales.
Right.
That's what it boils down to. Sex sales.
Right.
Hey, look, you know what I'm saying? There's no way to get around that. You know what I'm saying? It's at the end of the day, you know what I'm saying, where I don't care what product that you have. You know what I'm saying? You can have a man behind a product, whatever the case may be. He's gonna find the baddest looking female that he can find to put on the front. But you know what I'm saying? It's just the way of the world. You know what I'm saying? But look, here's the thing. It works both ways. You know what I'm saying? So like when you got the baddest man, you know what I'm saying? They got muscles and tattoos and all this other shit, you know what I'm saying? He's going to sell more than a regular guy. You got a woman, you know what I'm saying, with this tight fitting dress on with this slit that goes all the way up her leg. Of course she's going to sell more than the woman that, you know what I'm saying, she was out there walking with. You know what I'm saying? It's just the way of the world. So you can either complain or, you know what I'm saying, you can adjust.
Even in
be able to make money.
With real estate agents, that's what they you can't tell OF from real estate. It's kind of the same thing. It's not the skills, it's the presentation.
It's the presentation. That's it.
It's all in the presentation.
Oh man, 100%. 100%.
Think about it.
Like
The CEO of Anheuser-Busch ain't on the selling beer cans himself. He got the hot models in the bikinis playing volleyball, selling those beer ads.
Yep. Look, Hugh Hefner, you know what I'm saying? Hugh Hefner always put the baddest ones out front, you know what I'm saying? Right. Everybody know Hugh Hefner on Playboy, you know what I'm saying? But guess what? He wasn't the one that sold it.
Right.
It was everything else. It was the package of everything else that he put out in the forefront that sold it. So, I mean, you know what I'm saying? It's a lot about the package, whether you agree with it or not.
Right. It is what it is.
It is what it is. There you go.
And I want to say this, and I want to go to because I want to play like two fun ones and one old school one, and then I want to play this one that's funny real quick. What I was about to say is that you have to put down the ego, and like I said, it's all about presentation. Just we were talking about the prior clips, Hilton, Domino's, all of these are that fine woman. So sometimes you got to put the pride aside and let the brand awareness and the brand appeal do its thing.
100%.
So they already know what Domino's gonna taste like. They don't know what B's pizza gonna taste like. I gotta build all that.
Yes.
So it's the presentation. Let that switch it up. Put the ego aside and let that do its thing. And then this is another thing. I'm on a good segue to this next clip. If you're gonna do something, do it right. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna do something, do it right. Don't come like this dude right here. I'm gonna talk about it more after we play. If you're gonna do something, go hard, because other than that, they're not gonna take you serious.
Give me all your money. It's got the money. Give me all your money. Yeah. Where's the money? Give me the money. Where's the money?
You ain't even come in with confidence. You came in stuttering. We knew you was capped. Then you got your fucking hand in a purse, nigga. You know, who the fuck still do that shit in 2024? Who still do that shit? You wouldn't put that gun in a fucking bag, a purse, a shoe. We had that bitch out ready to blow some shit. That's how you already lost confidence. You come in that bitch hand the first time I giving the money, nigga, I will beat your old ass. That what niggas still on the phone, started there talking. She got up because she just really trying to let your ass out, nigga, because you ain't gonna do nothing. Take your
Everybody,
ass
give me everything.
Yeah, get out, nigga.
Where's the money?
Get the fuck out of here. They're not even paying you no attention. That nigga like, damn. Yeah, I really don't give a fuck about me. Go ahead, bro. Say go ahead, bro.
Everybody, get down. Give me all your money.
Yeah, you gotta do something, man.
And that had to be New York. I guarantee goddamn that was somewhere in New York. That shit funny as hell. Hey,
Come
look,
on.
the lady looked at him and just walked out the goddamn. She just looked at him and walked out the restaurant. You know what I'm saying? Ain't nobody even budged. You know what I'm saying? I think the one lady, she kept eating. God damn. Hey, look, man, you just gotta pick your face up off the floor, man. Go ahead and walk out, brother. Do better next time.
Ain't nobody responding, man.
Ain't nobody did shit. Ain't nobody gave him nothing. Hey, look, all he was doing was practicing. That's it.
But man, come on, man. We got to see the gun. So the times have changed, man. So I take this clip as a couple of different metaphors. Nowadays, that might have worked back in the 70s. You had a gun in the paper bag, give me all your money.
Maybe.
That don't work no more. People want to see it. They want to see it. There ain't no more, I got a good idea and I'm about to do this. Let's see it. Where is the evidence? Where is the money? We won't see this. So people ain't responding like they do no more. We see it a lot now. It don't a person. You're like, man, as long as you don't touch me, you can do all the huffing you want. I'm gonna keep on eating. So it's changed, man. People tolerance, and people. What's the proper word for it besides tolerance? Tolerance level. It's a good word for it. People become numb to certain things. So now you got to do even more to get like people's attention. So this, what they worked back in the 80s and the 70s, they ain't gonna work no more. You've been watching too much Jeffersons and Sanford and Son and stuff like that. That worked back in that era.
Correct. Not now.
Not now.
Not now.
You ain't gonna they ain't gonna budge.
That man walked in there, you know what I'm saying, did all that goddamn yelling and had to walk out. And them people still finished their food and kept on like using.
Ain't move. Come on, man. So in business, have a better game plan than that. You know what I mean? Have something up to date and they want to see it. They want to, yeah.
That shit was sad.
Let me play this, then I'm gonna play these last two clips. This is the first clip. I'm glad I found this clip. This is my first clip back in the 80s when I was a kid that this dawned upon me. This might have partly shaped my mental, because this was so enlightening when I first seen it back in the 80s.
Yep.
And I can remember this so vividly when I was a kid, and I never forgot this, and I'm so glad I found this clip.
Now, what kind of salary do you expect
for a regular person?
$250 a week.
I'm going to give you $300 a week. Yes, indeed. $300 a week, $1,200 a month. All right?
Great, I'll take it.
Yes, you will. And I will take $350 for taxes.
Whoa.
Huh? Yeah. Because see, the government comes for the regular people first. Now, how much does that leave you with?
$850.
All right. Now you've got to have an apartment because you are not going to live here. So an apartment in Manhattan will run you at least $400 a month.
I'll live in New Jersey.
Live in New Jersey, you've got to have a car.
I ride a motorbike.
You need a helmet. Figure $100 a month for clothes and shoes.
Figure 200. I want to look good.
Okay, so what does that leave you with?
$200. So no problem.
There is a problem. You haven't eaten yet.
I can get by on bologna and cereal. So I got everything I need plus $200 left for the month.
You plan to have a girlfriend?
For sure.
Regular people. Now, what kind
Rest in peace to Malcolm Jamal Warner, man.
R.I.P.
Yeah, but yeah, man, I remember seeing that as a kid. That man, I never forgot that. There's so many lessons in that, man. Like
so many lessons, so many of those episodes.
Nah, that right there taught a whole bunch in that little bitty 5 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but you know about taxes, I ain't know nothing about it because I ain't never really spoke like that. The government taking $350 out, you know.
Yep.
And he said the hard thing. He said, "Hey, the government, you know, get regular people first." And I'm like, "Woo!"
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
Hey, look, and that was good back then because right now, you know what I'm saying? Shit, taxes would be like half of that. Take half of that.
Right. So that was hard right there. And what else he said? What else struck me? Like, man, he missed out on a couple of things too because you know, he like insurance and you know, utilities and all that stuff. But you know, I got the gist of what he was saying. But
correct.
Man, he said, "You want to have a girlfriend? Take all of that. You ain't got nothing left.
Gone. That's gone."
So I learned at an early age that's an expense, the luxury.
She.
You know what I'm saying?
She.
You know, so that was, and it's twofold. That's a shame that I never had these conversations with like family members. I learned this from the Cosby Show.
Mm-hmm.
It's crazy. Cosby Show taught me more financial literacy.
Yep.
You know what I mean? That's crazy.
It was the reason it was created between, you know what I'm saying, the Cosby Show and Different World. You know what I'm saying? It was a lot of life lessons. And even Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, you know what I'm saying? I think there was a lot of life lessons to be learned throughout, you know what I'm saying, comedy within the show.
Right.
But you know what I'm saying, it opened your eyes to, you know what I'm saying, well, shit, I ain't necessarily think about that.
Right. Right. That was hard. I got about two more. Yeah, let's go to this funny one real quick. And then well, it ain't all that funny. This is more of a moral. You know, I got a couple of funny ones, but I ain't got a chance to play them.
Taking my wallet, my phone, my watch, and I will go to the market. I will show you how safe Dubai is. Follow me. It's too safe.
All right, Detroit. Let's see what you got. Glasses. Oh. Hey. And then I'm gonna do this wallet here. Let me see how much I got in here. But all right. And oh my God. Okay. Oh. Oh Lord. Oh, geez. Oh! Oh! What? What's happening? Oh! Oh! Okay, Detroit. I better get out of here. Okay. Call me an Uber. I ain't got no phone number.
Yo. Yo, but yeah, man. I just drew that in there because, like I said, it is a different ball game, man.
It's facts.
Let's end it on this, man. I do have a couple of more, but I might have to play them next week. But
All
I
right.
thought this clip, it was not funny, but it's hella entertaining. This
Okay.
it's a fun fact. I mean, because we were talking about Brandon, let's go ahead, just end it on this note right here. Let's go ahead and run this one. This is a fun clip. I didn't know all this shit. A little fun to end it off.
California pioneered fast food with McDonald's, In-N-Out, and Taco Bell, along with Jack in the Box, Carl's Jr., Denny's, and IHOP. Florida launched Hooters, Olive Garden, and Burger King. Texas brought us Wingstop, Whataburger, and Church's Chicken, while also firing up Chili's and Fuddruckers. Washington brewed Starbucks, flipped Red Robin, and sizzled burgers at Dick's Drive-In. Georgia created Chick-fil-A, Waffle House, and the Varsity, and even gave rise to Applebee's. Kentucky perfected fried chicken with KFC and added Long John Silver's and Fazoli's. Illinois introduced Dairy Queen, Jimmy John's, and Portillo's, along with Steak and Shake and Potbelly Sandwich Shop. Massachusetts brewed Dunkin', Friendly's, and Papa Gino's. Louisiana seasoned the world with Popeyes and Raising Cane's. Indiana turned out Papa John's, Noble Roman's Pizza, and Texas Roadhouse, and still houses Steak and Shake's headquarters. Michigan baked Domino's, Little Caesars, and Big Boy. Colorado cooked up Chipotle, Quiznos, Good Times Burgers, and Noodles and Company. Wisconsin grilled Culver's Butterburgers, Rocky Rococo Pizza, and George Webb Diners. North Carolina fired up Hardee's, spiced Bojangles, and launched Cookout. Kansas launched Pizza Hut and opened the very first White Castle in 1921. Virginia flipped Five Guys and Roy Rogers. Tennessee rolled out Crystal Burgers, Shoney's Diners, and Captain D's. New York fired up Nathan's Famous Hot Dogs, Carvel Ice Cream, and Sbarro Pizza, later adding Shake Shack. Missouri sliced Emo's Pizza, roasted beef at Lion's Choice, and started Panera Bread as the Saint, Louis Bread Company. Oregon crafted Burgerville and Sherry's Cafe and Pies. Minnesota spun Hot Sam Pretzels and became the headquarters of Dairy Queen. Alabama fried Milo's Hamburgers and launched Jack's Family Restaurants. Pennsylvania dished out Sheetz, Eaton Park, and Rita's Italian Ice. Nebraska created Runza Sandwiches and Amigos. Nevada stacked Capriati Subs and the Retro Peppermill. Ohio served up Wendy's, Arby's, Skyline Chili, Perkins, and Frisch's Big Boy. Connecticut built Subway and Duchess. Mississippi rolled out Ward's and Bumpers drive-thrus. Utah rolled out Arctic Circle and Crown Burgers. Arizona plated Peter Piper Pizza. New Jersey put Jersey Mike's and White Manna on the map. Iowa served Maid-Rite's loose meat sandwiches. Maryland grilled Gino's hamburgers. Maine gave us Amato's, birthplace of the Maine Italian sandwich. California pioneered fast food with McDonald's, In-N-Out, and Taco Bell.
That was educational, man, from a dude that eat a lot of fast food, man. I didn't know California was the first to come out with the fast food, but shit, I learned from there, like a couple of them I ain't never heard of, man. So they be extremely regional, you know what I'm saying? So they go to show you, like, they got all kind of brands and franchises that making money, people making money we ain't heard of. They probably got all kind of franchisees, and
That's correct.
man, and that's kind of the way to go. You need to have that in your portfolio, you know, something, a brand that's recognized. Look at all these brands, and you want your brand to compete with that, all these brands. That's just in one industry.
Yep.
Imagine all the rest of the industry. There's only so much bandwidth that people could recognize. So you trying to compete with so many other brands. I'd rather have the train already rolling.
Correct.
One thing they did miss out on, Marcos is from Ohio though too. Marcos from Toledo, Ohio. That's one thing they did miss.
Okay.
Yeah. You know, I know that because in college, my suite mates, one of my suite mates from Toledo, Ohio. You know,
so you know that, yeah, ain't no telling. But you know what I'm saying, he came up with a whole bunch of restaurants. A lot of them I never heard of, but you know what I'm saying, a lot of them I heard of, but I didn't know it originated in these different states.
Right. I go to show you, man. Like I said, they started off with one and franchise at McDonald's, probably the top McDonald's, Taco Bell, and In-N-Out just starting to get popular.
Yeah.
But everything got their little reason down. Louisiana only 2 restaurants, Popeyes and Raising Cane's.
Got to be more than that.
Damn.
Nationally, you know what I'm saying, it got to be more than that.
Well, that originated. I know Popeyes for sure. I know where the first Popeyes was. You know what I mean? So that's for sure New Orleans. But Raising Cane's is Baton Rouge. But yeah, that's it. 2 national chains. But it is what it is. But I think the Raising Cane's, you can't buy into them either. I think the dude on all of them. Yeah, you can't buy into Raising Cane's either. And that Chick-fil-A basically they got it to where you basically a store manager.
That's correct.
Yeah, so
I'm making a lot of money.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, $350 a year, but they keeping the majority of that thing. You know, so that being said, man, it's 1:30. So shit, I gotta pop out for for 7:30 for sure to feed these dogs. So
there it is.
All right, man, we're gonna see y'all next week. Peace.